Welcome, everybody. My name is Mads. I am your host for the Top Shelf for the evening. We are back with another episode. We're on episode 17, having just finished our The Company mini-series, which was lots of fun. Moving back into the myriad of one-shots, and we've touched on the Lumen system a couple of times because I love Spencer Campbell and having him on the show. But we're diverging into a little bit more of a complex system as far as the Lumen system is concerned. Still fairly rules light, but we're playing Monster Guts, and we're going to go hunt some monsters, and I'm excited, and we're all excited, and it's going to be a great time. We'll just get right into intros, because I know we're a little bit late to the draw today, so thank you for being patient. Order of intros, I'm skipping you, Danielle, for a minute, because you're in the wrong intro order for me, but we're going to go everybody we know first. Ashen Rabbit, Corn Dog, Sarah, and then we'll finish off those intros with Danielle. But get after it, folks.
I'm still muted. We're good. Hi, I'm Ash. I go by Ashen Rabbit here on Twitch and over on Twitter. Today I am playing Kai. I don't know, I'm a hunter and I've got a sweet scythe and I'm jazzed about it. I'm going to pass it over to Corn Dog.
It's me, Corn Dog. I am here today. I am playing Bass, who has a lance. Thank you. I'll pass it over to Sarah.
Hi, I'm Osarix Franco, and today I will be playing Jira Ramslayer, who definitely slayed a very impressive ram. Not a regular-sized one, an impressive one with a bow. That is all.
Telling me that slaying a ram of any sort is not impressive? Those things are spooky. They're aggressive.
This one, straight from the mouth of hell. I'll tell you all about it over a drink.
It was this big. That's how big it was. Hi, I'm Danielle Osterman. I wrote Monster Guts, and I am today playing Yehudith the Hammergirl, who has a hammer that it's very large, much larger than that goat that was slain.
Impossible, and it was a ram. Thank you very much.
Both are accurate then, because the goat that was slain wasn't huge, but the ram was big.
Nothing bigger than the ram.
And then once again, my name's Mads. I'm your host. I do all the game mastery stuff for this show. I think it's just a GM for this. Sometimes we get fun names. I think we're just the GM as far as Monster Guts is concerned. But for those unfamiliar with the Lumen system, we'll just get you a quick catch-up. It is a D6 dice pool system in which the core of Lumen is built off of 3 stats. I think the interesting part about Monster Guts to me is that all the Lumen systems I've seen up to this point put you in a class which determines your stats and your initial starting numbers and kind of what you can do. In Monster Guts, and Monster Hunter, if you're paying attention, it's your kind of skills and what you're able to do is entirely dependent on your weapon. And this game, if you like Monster Hunter, is filled with all kinds of spectacular weapons, and we're going to play a whole bunch with those. But I'm going to actually read the very, very beginning of the book because I think it's a great intro to kind of understanding the world and where we are at the moment. And it reads thusly. Once we flew the skies and traveled the deeps. Once we delved into the minuscule and corralled the massive. Once we created life to support and sustain our progress. And then our monsters turned on us. They consumed our forests, our ore, our livestock, our homes, and our lives, and then they multiplied. Our village, the village of these 4 fine folks here, was isolated enough to escape the brunt of the attacks. But there are no more trees to burn, no more metal to smelt, no food to eat, no water to drink. To live, we need to hunt the very monsters who had deprived us of our livelihoods and liberties. And so we trained the scavengers in massive weaponry and cobbled together from whatever we could spare. Weapons suited to killing the behemoths who stalk our land. These scavengers are our last best hope for victory. P.S. As always, the enemy is capitalism, which is just a good reminder for everybody out there if you're not, on board with that. It is. It's bad. We begin in this village in an early morning fracas of sorts, as what has been a very isolated village up to this point is screaming and in a panic, and you can hear weapons outside immediately. There is no halt or pomp and circumstance to the day to go collect your mochi from your favorite cat friends. You all awake in this early morning, and Sarah, you're muted.
I'm not. Unacceptable. That's unacceptable. I do not accept this. I decline. I would like to roll to decline.
Roll to decline. That's 2d6.
This is a big one of these.
As you all wake up and brandish your weapons, hearing what is going on outside, you barrel out into the main thoroughfare of this smaller village to what you see looks like a meteor just landed. You know those big grooves that they leave like a good ways through the area, except maybe a meteor, maybe just a big fucking tire. This thing runs the whole length of this thoroughfare through a building which it had completely just leveled and off towards the wood.
I must know immediately, is that the Mochi building? Because I will have words.
It is not the Mochi building.
Thank God.
The head of the village is out. A good number of other hunters are all weapons brandished, a couple people re-knocking new arrows. There's definitely been somewhat of, an attempt to stop or hinder whatever it was that had passed through, but there was no slowing its roll, and it continued forward, leaving a trail of destruction and, for you all, perhaps revenge in its wake.
Jira is gonna have her bow and be standing there looking at the groove in the ground, and will look up towards Bass as they approach and go, "It look like a new trench be built here. I do not remember seeing a permit through office for this."
God must have spent a little more time on this trench. Just a little bit more.
Certainly possible. Could have used a little more time. It's very scratchy, very many grooves. Not efficient for water travel.
If you are paying attention to this groove too, it is frosted, despite it being the heat of summer. It looks like the whole area, the mud that it had run through, or the dirt that it had mud through, is muddied and frozen.
I do like built-in cooler feature, like frosted tips. You get this, Bass, huh? Frosted tips.
I do. I get this, but Bass will reach back for his lance and just poke the frozen ground with the fiery tips of my lance.
Thawing rapidly and thawing even more rapidly once you start prodding it with your flaming lance.
Just listening to the sizzles, wondering what the F?
As you guys do, who all has got Paline buddies? Okay, just Jira.
Well, I have a Paline. We've got the other kinds. I do have a Paline.
Okay, so we've got a Paline. We got a Doge Pal.
Doja Pal.
Okay, and then what are your two's pets?
I've got a Caterpal.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys both have Caterpals? Okay.
Hell yeah.
So in this context, then, probably the most expressive being the anthropomorphic of the group, your Caterpal is going to come up to you and just kind of tug on your armor. What are you wearing? What do you all look like right now? What are you decked out in?
Denim, head to toe.
Perfect. Love it.
I'm wearing this very uncomfortable looking mixture of timber and flannel. It's like housing beams coming down and like over strategic areas and all wrapped around with flannel as like if a very, very large hammer that's made out of concrete and rebar.
Perfect.
Ash, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I have a bunch of feathers that I've like sewn into the top part of like my top or whatever, and the rest of it is mostly leather, which is really not fun in the summer. But there's like, you know, like smart little slits on the side to kind of aerate a little.
A hunter very familiar with the crowbeast, I see.
Yes.
Jira is kind of decked out in its dark brown leathers, and it's very like strip and like a loincloth, but the loincloth is a long piece of like wool, so it's like wool like that nearly goes to the ground, and like it shows an uncomfortable amount of just everything for how much and how long it is. Like it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense with little like wool patches, and then on her head is like an ornate like headdress with just like a pair of horns affixed to it that you if those who will watch will notice that she often is adjusting or straightening or shining, or like if any of like dirt comes up, she as she tries to protect the horns.
Okay, so knowing that these horns are the thing that you pay the most attention to, your caterpal is just gonna give a good leap and just grab onto the end of one and just kind of.
Oh, my paline?
Okay. Your paline.
Gotcha.
And give a tug
I
backwards.
know with what we talk about, no touch.
It kind of drops to the ground and looks up at you.
Pascal, this is unacceptable. We need to talk about personal space. What are you trying to tell me?
Just sits and is pointing the direction of the village chief, I suppose, the patriarch of the space. And you can notice as you guys have been poking the ground, he's kind of gesturing forward to the rest of you.
I don't understand. It's not my trench. I would have filed permit. Where is Kai? Kai will know about the permit.
And as you look around for Kai, Kai kind of slinks out of the shadows from one of the nearby buildings and like goes up to some of the ice chunks, picks it up, like licks it. This isn't gonna be a good day. Oh, hey Jira. Did you?
Listen,
were we doing this?
Listen.
Yeah.
I think my paline here thinks that I was going to spend my golden voucher on this piece of infrastructure, but he's incorrect. The elder is there. We have Bass here is inspecting frozen ground. Have you seen Hammergirl? We might be needing to do a job.
She's around. She should be here soon. You're not using your ticket on infrastructure? I thought that was part of the rebuilding
Well, listen, I just really think that water slide would be better use of golden ticket, you know? Like we have some
Fair.
regular tickets and we have some silver tickets, but golden ticket. I want it fair and square in the ration eating contest.
You did.
Spend it on
It was very impressive.
Though I am.
Grunt. Sorry.
No, you go for it.
With a big grunt, some of the timber that's fallen over and that building that's been total sort of flies off, and Yehudith. I was asleep. What?
Oh shit! Was that your new nap spot?
That was my new nap spot. And
Fuck.
Clearly, someone did not file permit. This new nap spot.
This is why permits are so important.
Yes.
Oh, village, the village chief. Okay, you're okay. What's up? What's up?
So,
This is problem for all of us, clearly.
so down the way, as Yehudith is shouting this, and you guys are on the opposite side of the village chief, you kind of corner him and meet in the middle. And he looks at the four of you, and he goes, "Last awake means first to hunt. Everybody else has got to fill a trench. Lucky you."
This seems like strange system.
Yeah.
It's a system that works.
It is almost like it takes the most vulnerable populace and punishes them for their participation in the society that they're a part of, it feels like maybe this is wrong.
You're
Okay.
Well, no, go ahead. Now I'm curious to what everybody else has to say. That was fairly insightful.
No, it was extremely insightful. It's you know, a societal ownership at the same time. Like, we get to go be cool and kill some shit. They get to be cool and make sure that our cars and vehicles, if they want to run, can still run on flat ground.
Yeah, you know, that was my thought too, not the kind of degradation of our societal hierarchy by taking the people who sleep in and then sending them off to their potential deaths against something that I haven't seen ever.
Kind of sounds like you just steal her idea and say that it's yours.
No, I just didn't want to feel entirely called out by your own perspective, because I have a hard time being involved in that sort of thing and enjoy deflecting.
He's understandable.
Deflection? That sounds like my armor.
Your armor's
I like
made
that.
of wood. Doesn't it absorb more than deflect?
Well, yeah, but deflection was a big word, and I liked it, and that's what
Hey.
I thought. Okay.
If it works for you, you can keep it.
Okay.
You can
Thank you.
use the
Okay.
word as you need.
Okay.
But we have four fine folks here, and that whatever it was did not stop for anything heading directly to the once emerald forests. So I really hope that the byline between that and the cities of yore is not going to create a bypass for these creatures. Figure out what it's doing and put it down, please. Plus, it's new. Maybe it'll bring back something fun to the area.
Bass, what do you think of this job?
The whole time, just standing here sizzling the ground, going up to a new patch of ice each time as everyone's been talking. Okay. Got it.
I don't think that Bass is. I think they'll never stop. But listen, I do have a question on this monster. Did anyone see if it was bigger than a ram?
That's a good question. That's kind of important to know.
This is very important to me. It's a personal matter at that point.
You know how a tire, when it hits the road, only sees, a small portion of the tire actually touching the road and the rest of it just keeps its balance? So if you take that trench that you had to walk through and, have been prodding, and then expand that to the whole orb that rolled through, yeah, I'd say it's probably bigger than a ram.
Not bigger than the ram I kill, I tell you what.
I have a question, Jira. Ramslayer. The horns you wear on your head that you proclaim to have gotten from this ram are fairly standard-sized horns. So either this was a standard-sized ram or this was a really big ram with really tiny horns.
Listen.
And I'm
When you die,
curious.
no, listen, when you die, they shrink.
Of course. That's just how big rams are. You kill them and they shrink.
They shrink, and then I use ancient village technique, shrinky dinks. I shrink more.
I love Shrinky Dinks.
Did
We love shrinky dinks.
you
Yeah.
put the ram in the oven?
In a toaster. Yeah.
It's a family secret. Very ancient. Very, very private. I'm actually kind of bothered that you're asking about it.
I will stop asking on grounds of traditional privacy, but also know that I am incredibly curious. I will follow this line of questioning no more, though. Please.
Thank you. I do appreciate, but understand that later when I have many beer, I will tell you all about it. But let's go solve immediate problem of this trench.
I do like inebriation-induced oversharing. I, too, participate in that pastime. Now,
It's on my resume.
go...
Everybody drink!
Yeah.
Huh?
And if you need to get
Hammergirl
breakfast
gets it.
on the way out, luckily it didn't harm the Paline eatery.
This is very good.
Oh, go!
Oh,
Go do.
All right.
Okay, great. Yes,
A
sir.
little awkward. Beth,
Bye,
Beth, we are
bye.
going now. Oh,
Bye. Bye.
yes.
Bye.
Always 3 with you. Always 3 buys. I like that. I like
Is
that
that a
about
family
you.
tradition? I would. It
Yes.
feels like it's deeply ingrained in you.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Hammergirl,
Alright.
will you tell us where we need to go and how we shall proceed? This is not Ram. I am not expert.
Ooh, you've just been called to take point.
I have been told to take point. Well, first things first, it's time to eat dongo.
Yes.
We all need proper dongo breakfast. Afterwards, I propose we follow the trench. And I think that if we follow the trench for long enough, we'll see where the thing that left the trench was going to.
Spectacular.
I am supportive of this plan. I motion that we follow this plan. Do I have a second?
Yes. I'm all for it.
Perfect.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Let us continue. For the more bright future where where capitalism no longer reigns. Thank you.
You were not kidding on the hijinks thing. Okay, so y'all need to go get breakfast first. Danielle, I might have missed it. Do we have eatery rules in Monster Guts?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Everybody pick a color of donga that you're gonna go eat.
Oh boy.
This is a good question. What are the options?
Ooh, also a good question.
Because I have an answer, but I need to know the option.
White, red, blue, yellow, green.
It would be white to match outfit. In case I spilled and get some on, then it matches, you see.
I'm gonna go with green.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gonna go with yellow to match my frosted tips.
Easy's
You have
very
yellow
good.
frosted tips?
Yeah.
Delightful.
That's what it means to have frosted tips.
Or did you not know that Beth had yellow frosted tips? I'm disappointed.
I knew that I knew that you had frosted tips. I just didn't know what color they were.
They're
My bad.
yellow.
Okay. So
White dongo, please.
the white gives you an edge, so to speak, when sharpening your weapon. Initially, your weapon is at the same edge that it would be, but for once you sharpen your weapon for the first time, it is +1 max edge for the rest of the hunt.
Damn.
We got green. Green is an additional. Wait, where is it? Where's your weapons? I gotta find the weapons. I gotta read, make sure I'm not crazy here. Okay, an additional 2 to your max health for the hunt.
Oh. Hell yeah.
And yellow to match your frosted tips. Let me take a quick look here. I cannot recall what I just decided yellow was because I left the page that I was ad-libbing from.
I could
How
not
to
help
do
but
it.
notice you like green. Why is this?
I mean, it do you see like the sheen of the feathers a little bit? There's a little bit of purple, a little bit of green in there, kind of like the oils in there. I don't know. Also, like
So Cape
being in nature kind of matches a little bit.
act as very good napkin for absorbing of the oils.
You'd be surprised, actually. That's very true.
I like this.
Corn dog. Bass. I found your answer. +1 to, or +1 an additional effect to any attack made that affects a clock.
That affects a clock?
Yeah, so if you're adding to your... Okay, fair enough. We'll take a brief hiatus right here. So all of your weapons and all of the effects of these weapons as they are augmented have the abilities to basically start wearing down different clocks, which are vulnerabilities on a monster. So hit somebody 5 times with a venom weapon and they are now poisoned or something of the sort. Fire has its own benefits there, as does a whole bunch of other stuff. There's lots of different ones. But if your weapon augments, say, add 1 to the fire clock, you would add 2 instead.
Ooh.
There you go. So you've had food. You're all already bumped up a little bit and ready to proceed into the forest. Or the once emerald forests. In the before, these trees were green. Now they are red, orange, purple, blue, and their needles are sharp and hard. Their bark turns aside any axe, and their fruit is toxic to all but the most venomous of creatures. Again, capitalism is bad. Pollution is even worse. As you travel into this dark, awful wood, couple of you having been here before, Kai, you're probably particularly familiar with these once emerald forests, as they are the nesting grounds traditionally of the crowbeast.
Absolutely.
You can hear their call quietly off in the distance. Which,
There's
if
a
it's
nest, like just a half a mile that way. Don't go on the southeastern side of the mountain. That's where the chicks like to play. Don't go that way. I think we're going northwest, so we should be fine. But just be careful.
Perfect. All right, so this is in the scope of Monster Guts. The gameplay takes place in 2 parts. We have lulls and we have bouts. Bouts are combat, actually taking down these great, horrendous beasts. Lulls are what y'all are doing now, and during a lull, you can take 2 lull moves before the next bout begins. There is a list of them if you do not have them immediately in front of you on page 42. But what are you all, if anything, taking this initial? Because I know you haven't really taken a whole lot of damage or anything yet, but do some scrounging or something of the sort.
Yes, I will be scrounging for many ammo. I am looking to do that currently.
Okay.
Please.
So, you can absolutely restore your ammo back to full from full, unless you had forgotten to do so the night before.
I definitely forgot to do night before. Was too excited for Mochi to do chores.
Okay. So, Yehudith, are you doing anything with your lull?
Yeah, that donga was really good, but I am still hungry. So I would also like to scrounge, and maybe I'll find something tasty.
All right, go ahead and give me a die roll.
All right. That's a 3.
3. Ambrosial honey.
Whoa.
Consumes to cure all status effects and recover 3 health. Not too shabby. The ambrosial bees are probably upset, but they're a placid insect, all things considered. Not too bad.
My hammer is much bigger than the bees. I will be fine.
They see this. They're very self-aware bees. They see the hammer and recognize that you are bigger and keep a distance. Kai or Bass, would you like to scrounge for anything while we are out doing some searching?
Yes, please.
Bass and Kai, roll me a die then. I saw the nod, Kai, so I assumed. Okay, perfect.
5.
5. Okay, roll me another d6.
Ooh.
1.
1.
Yes.
Along the
Yes.
path of this groove that you are following, you found an undetonated tree bomb. It's an explosive pine cone. If you throw them, they inflict 1 harm and 1 medal as far as an effect to an enemy.
I cherish it.
Delightful. As you should. They're beautiful.
You're going to name it JC.
Oh.
I got a 3.
You got a 3. Ambrosial honey to you as well.
Incredible.
Cures all statuses. Recover 3 health. Now, you all proceed forward and eventually reach what looks like the edge or the end of this terrible groove that has been marked through the earth. And what you find is a great, almost looks like it's made out of metal, but just because of the kind of sharp gray sheen off of it, a massive cannonball, basically, partially buried in the side of this tree just on impact alone. Pieces of bark and the main portion of this tree scattered all over the place. And the actual orb itself that you are staring at is kind of trickling a very delicate frost that just kind of falls from it. It's pretty. It's ominous, and the whole area is very cold now, but...
Listen, somebody misplaced their striker marble. This is irresponsible marble ownership.
It's a little bit bigger than a marble, I think, Jira. Is
You know, this is like ram striker marble, you know?
Oh, okay.
Nice.
It's a very round ram.
Listen, perhaps he lost it. I don't know. Maybe it is not marble, but I've never seen anything like this. Huh?
As you all are discussing the ram striker marble, it begins to shudder and move, and you can watch the front of it, which is facing you at this point, begin to uncurl, and the paneling on the back of it kind of slides over the top of itself, as it is a giant, one might even say titanic isopod. Roly-polies, for those unfamiliar. As it unfurls itself and kind of flops forward, tons of keratinous legs, all this deep, deep blue coming up from underneath it as it kind of starts to twist towards the sounds that you all are making. The front 4 legs of this thing, as they come up and out, far larger, and as they impact the ground, being the primary thing to drag them forward, they almost have the spine structure of like a praying mantis's claw. Big, terrible beast. Whole bunch of ice blue eyes open across the front of it as the paneling continues to adjust as it retracts from its armored ball form.
There's a lot of adjectives I would use to describe this thing, but I do not like it, and I'm going to back up now. Thank you.
Okay.
And I will back away from it, preparing a bow in case it tries to impact the rest of us.
Oh, this thing's gonna roar, and we gonna start fighting some monster. Because whatever this is and whyever it's here, it's pissed.
I did not know that you were not a marble. I am sorry. I would like to petition you now to accept this apology.
The great beast looks upon you, and as it screeches... Oh, I grabbed the wrong book. Where's my notebook? I'll grab a small one. Where is... There's the... Yeah. Okay. As it roars, the horrible sound that bellows out of it physically staggers all of you in the impact of this bellow. As it begins to rush the party, Jira being the only person to have backed away currently. So what we're looking at, now that combat has begun, is Jira would be near at this point, because of its on approach, you three would be close.
Okay.
But currently, I'm giving you guys first blood as this thing rushes the pack of you.
Well, I want to hit it with my hammer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, can I reach its head from where I am?
So head is relative, but there is definitely, I mean, the whole kind of front mass of it is its head, where all of the eyes are coming from. So I'd say, yeah, it's fair.
Fantastic. Then, I want to, I'm going to use my Bone Cruncher move.
Ooh.
And, I'm just going to, like, spin my hammer around and then crunch down on some of those eyes.
Yes.
Which I have 4 edge. That does 7 harm.
Okay. Let's see.
That was a great move, Yehudith.
That was hella.
Fantastic.
I have to. Sorry, there was a little bit of a lull there because I'm like, we're getting right into it, and I'm just marking down stuff because I don't have it on my papers here. Hell of a hit. Yeah, you slam that thing, and the awful pop of a couple of these eyes, but you do notice is that crushing? Or we're rolling for.
So.
Take a.
So using the powers, the moves for your weapon, you don't roll.
Right.
But it is I think bludgeoning, crushing damage.
Yeah, makes sense to me that would be okay. Sounds good. So heavy impact, and you can watch some of these front plates splinter and kind of crack inward just from the impact. But it is not happy about that. Kai, what are you up to? Or anybody else? But
I mean, if anyone else wants to go first, that's totally fine.
I'm happy to run it in a circle just so we don't end up with any lulls if you would like, or
okay.
If you guys want to call your shots, I've always run Lumen where there is no need for initiative. It's just 1 per round, so.
Okay. So after seeing Yehudith actually just completely smash the shit out of this thing, I think Kai is gonna run up. She's got this giant modular scythe on her back, which is kind of like folded in on itself. But she grabs the handle and it folds out into this giant circular blade. She's gonna try and do some sick leeching cuts with it. Which, what does this do? Lacerate the monster's hide, inflicting 3 harm and 1 bleed clock.
Okay. Sounds good.
I don't know if I need to add anything else to that.
So, no, you're totally fine. You do notice as you swing into this beast, based on the impact of Yehudith's swing, your scythe is not finding quite as much purchase.
Okay.
This thing is pretty hard shelled as far as everything's considered.
Totally fair. Okay.
Bass, that would make.
Back off.
Yeah.
Okay, Bass, head up there.
Bass will address the not marble with, "You're bringing noise, and you brought down Yehudith's house. Now I'm here to turn your insides out, and she gonna get to blasted. She's going to bombard it and try to fire a blast into its mouth."
Okay. So, go ahead and read to me your ability that you're using here.
Yes, so I'm using bombard. Near. Fire a blast at a target, dealing 4 harm.
Okay. Easy
so
enough.
The lance that she was like poking the ground with this whole time just lifts up and points directly at its open maw and blasts.
Yes.
Yeah, and we'll say it's a little reared back because isopods in general, their maws kind of underneath them, so it's already kind of pulled back, ready to strike at this point, and you just unload the front of your lance directly into its face. We are some pretty solid damage there. So far, it still seems that Yehudith's hammer is definitely hitting the biggest points for impact. But is it just the 4 harm? Is there any other effects that that's taking?
Nope, that's just it.
Okay, perfect. All right, Jira.
All right, weird bug marble thing. Just look over here. Hey, look over here with those weird eyes that you have. And I'm going to use Quick Shot, which is fire a rapid volley, dealing 2 harm to all parts and targets in range, particularly aiming at the many eyes that are slotting open, trying to target soft, squishy parts.
Okay. Sounds good. So 2 harm to everything.
To all parts and targets in range, yes.
Okay. So we got 15, 13.
And as doing that, gonna try and just step around to be behind Yehudith to get all right, yes, now this next number will take some time. That's my turn.
Okay. Sounds good. So after taking a pretty hefty beating from the 4 of you, already on the approach, you watch the beast goes to strike, and instead of doing so, it takes all 4 of these kind of front arms, and it slams straight down into the ground, issuing another roar directly out. And 2 things happen. One, there is the same kind of just bellowing wind. From this, you will all take a harm because it is starting to charge and freeze itself, and you are getting hella cold. But the ground beneath it, everything within close range of its stationary position right now, is now frozen over and starting to... you can watch little pockets of it start to erupt with these little crystalline fissures of stalagmites. All right.
So cool.
That's very cold and I do not like it.
Throw down, Yehudith.
Well, Bone Cruncher worked really well last time, so I'm just going to give a regular hammer blow, same place.
Okay.
And try to soldier through that cold as much as I can.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna just swing really hard and try crushing.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Cool. So I'm rolling 3 dice because I got crushed 3, and my highest die is a 5.
5. Okay. Perfect. And that is full success or partial?
That's a full success.
That is a full success. Perfect. All right. It's a big. How much damage?
3 harm.
3 harm. Perfect. And this is...
And it's a +1 stun clock, I think, because I'm getting the, eye, head region.
Okay. Sounds good. So, I'm gonna slow down for just a sec then. As far as the monster stats are designed here, the clocks that they have written into their stats indicate their vulnerabilities. If they are not listed there, is there a default number, or does that mean they're not affected?
There is a default number, and it is 6.
6. Okay. Perfect.
That will be rectified in the next release of this.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right. So you take another heavy swing into this front of this beast. The front plate is really starting to just show a lot of wear at this point. And Kai, you're still hanging out within that close range, taking that full hammer blow, which gives this ice starting to coalesce around spaces that are close to it in these little stalagmite formations. You're going to take 2 harm from that. And then you are locked in place by the ice freezing up around your boots.
Okay. I don't know how to break free from that, but I would like to make an attempt to do so.
So that was for Yehudith.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
That was end of round for Yehudith, and now we are on to Kai.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Then I want to try and get Yehudith out of that.
Okay.
Crud. I don't know exactly what I can do for that other than like, I could reassemble my my scythe here into a shield and go up and kind of bash the ice that are that's forming around Yehudith's feet and just say, "Okay, watch out," and try and break her free.
Okay. Sounds like crush to me. Go ahead and roll crush for your scythe.
Oh God. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh no. I'm panicking. What do I do? Oh,
So
no.
whatever your crush number is for your scythe,
Yes.
you'll roll that many dice, and then tell me the
Perfect.
highest number.
6.
6. Very nice. Okay, so you immediately see Yehudith start to freeze in place, not wanting your friends to be in a more vulnerable position than you would like. You immediately lock your scythe back into shield formation, and just backswing the frost covering her boots, and it just breaks to bits. You are now sliding on this, but you're free. You're able to move again. And
Kai.
I got you.
for the sake of companionship and being helpful there, I'm gonna say the movement involved is keeping you at odds with this slow encroaching frost. So you are not locked in either. Bass, you're up.
It's me. Okay. Well, seeing that it's freezing, folks, I have an aversion to being cold. So I'm gonna stay just that little bit of ways away.
Okay, so are you
And we
backing
gon-
up to near then?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
do that. Oh gosh. Wait a minute. What am I doing?
What are
I
you
know
doing?
what I'm doing. Hold, please. Where is that page again from when we did the stuff? Here we go. Oh. I want to yeet my tree bomb at it.
Yes.
All right, so you back up to near, and then toss your
And
bomb.
yeet.
Okay.
Oh, what is
So-
that you find, Bass? Oh.
We're gonna consider that a little bit more of a. I'll give you your option. It's either slice or pierce for the toss on that.
I'm gonna pierce it by throwing it towards the mouth. Just
Okay.
get it on the inside.
All right. So
Yes,
you're
it's the
still
brain
you're still.
side.
Still focusing
Big-
on it breathing ice and screaming at us. I'm not a fan of it bringing to noise.
Big brain strategy. You barrel back from that ice puddle, and then give a hurl of this tree bomb. Go ahead and roll me for pierce. For whatever your stats are.
Oh, for Pierce.
For pierce.
I think mine are 2.
Okay. Roll 2. Take the highest die.
Yes, 2. 6.
6. Okay.
And
you guys-
because it's explosive, it gets +1 on top of that, right?
So the +1, I believe, is metal on the tree bomb. So it's +1 harm and then +1 to the metal clock, which is good.
I think there's an additional +1 harm since it's
From your-
explosive.
Yep.
And there's also +1 metal from your dongo too, right?
That is true. Yeah. So you got
Oh God.
2 metal coming in and then 2 harm.
Yes. Yeet!
Okay. All right. So, yeah, heavy explosion. The impact probably sends you two just sliding on your feet flat a little bit. But, Jira, you are up.
So I have a mechanics question. So I understand that each weapon has a set of skills that they can do, correct? And is it 1 per round? or like a regular attack? How is that space? What's the cooldown situation on these things?
Would you like to answer that?
Yeah. I would love to answer that. So there's no cooldown, but every time that you use your power, you're spending either ammo or edge.
Gotcha.
And those only refill if you find more ammo or you sharpen your weapon.
Understood. Understood. Yep. So true to Jira's word, Jira watches Bass pull out this strange, what is that? Oh, you throw very good. As Jira kind of takes a arrow and kind of scrapes it along the ice, and you see there's sparks that kind of pick up on the arrowhead as she flips it up to the bowstring and starts pulling back her hinged bow, and it's like a second set of tension sets in. There's the main bow, and then she keeps pulling and it transforms as another second pull comes in, and she's just holding that. I'm using my skull piercer, which takes a round to draw a deadly shot, and as she's doing it, the end of her arrow is sparking really weird, and she's going to say, okay, everybody, do not get in front of this. I will not apologize. You've been warned. I would give you vouchers or notices there in my pocket. And she's going to hold that.
Okay, so you are waiting on that skull piercer. All right, so this big, awful beast with the two people that are still within close range is going to take all 4 of those massive legs and just slam them down 2 apiece. That's going to be 4 harm, 2 for each leg.
Ooh.
Ouch.
As these things, just carve through the wood on Yehudith's armor, sending splinters of this old wood across places. You're probably real upset because now big chunks of your feathers are totally gone. You put all the work into them too.
Is there a possibility that I could have recognized that a attack was coming in and used my block move to help you, Yehudith?
Read it to me. Give me a read on that.
Absolutely. Leap to a close ally's defense, negating all harm.
Ooh. I'll allow it.
Sick.
I'll allow
You're the best.
4 harm back to you. I am going... Let's see. Yeah, negating all harm, so you'll still take your 4. But yeah, significantly less. Very nice. Good. Yehudith, you're back up.
Thanks, Kai.
I got you.
All right. Kai, how are you doing on health?
Let's see. I am 5 down. I had that extra 2 because of the green dongo, to make my total health 12. But I'm to 7 now.
Okay. All right. I want to use my ambrosial honey on Kai so that she's doing less badly because she did me a solid. All right. I think to do that, I roll a die to see if the monster hits me while I use this.
Yes.
Amazing.
Oh boy. That's 2.
That is a 2. Okay.
That's a 2.
That is a swing, is it not?
Yeah, I do believe I get bodied.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So, that'll be 1 more of these big scythe legs directly towards you. 2 more harm.
Ow.
But the ambrosial honey is
Ow.
beneficial to Kai as she is feeling better.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Just keep jumping in front of one another. I
Right.
got it. No, you're fine. Here's this.
And then as a follow-up note too, this kind of freezing puddle appears to be only a follow-through for an additional round. So it is starting to no longer be of any kind of concern to you. Kai, you're up.
Okay. I feel like I kind of used my move by trying to go in and block all of that harm for Yehudith. So if you want to move on to Bass, that's totally fine. if not, I'm totally down to just smack this thing.
Give it a smack.
Hell yeah. All right. We're going to do... I'm still in the shield mode. So I think I'm going to use the morphing blow. Well, I guess that only applies if it's actually in scythe mode. So then I'll switch it back out to scythe mode and try and do a hooking blow.
If I might clarify, it is you are in shield mode, and then doing that move switches it to scythe mode.
Fuck yeah, let's do that. Yeah. That's wicked cool. All right, I'm doing a morphing blow. What does this do? Sinking the scythe. It sinks the scythe deep into the monster, deals 7 harm and 1 bleed clock.
Very nice. God damn. Where are you hitting it?
Ooh, not on like the carapace part, but like somewhere on the inside. I'm assuming this thing is huge. I don't want to get too close to its mouth. I don't want to be like...
It is, so I guess let's clarify here too. It is pretty low to the ground. I mean, as far as a pill bug is concerned, unless you're crawling under it like you're trying to work on a car, like you're not really getting up underneath this thing right now. But you're looking at, as far as body parts, you've got the front eye clusters, you've got the front legs, you've got its mobility or back legs, and then you have the overall actual hard top carapace to it.
All right, we're going for those front legs.
Okay, and take some swings at them front legs. That was how much damage?
7.
7.
Mm-hmm. And +1 bleed clock.
+1 to the bleed clock.
Mm-hmm. God, I love this weapon. It's so cool.
Okay. Let's go. 7. Sorry, there is actual math involved there, because once again, these crushing blows are doing more to these hard shell portions of it than the slicey swipes are. But still a good impact, and I think the first direct damage we've had to the front legs, other than Jira's attack. So, Bass, you're up.
Let's go blast again. Just
Okay.
chilling back here, in the near range, not the close range, because scary ice. No. So just blasting again to deal 4 harm. Quick question.
Yes.
So it says 1 next to it. Is this coming off of my edge each time?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the edge is your damage number for a regular attack.
Cool. So if I were to like be up close and stabbing it, I would deal 4 damage?
Yes.
Cool.
Unless you're spending edge, and then your weapon gets duller over time.
Oh. Well, I don't want to go in the ice, so gonna keep spending this edge.
Oh, you're good.
Gonna have a really dull lance pretty soon.
What are you hitting with that lance? What part of it?
I'm just gonna, like, if this was... We're in combat, and I'm just gonna keep aiming for that same spot over and over again with just fear in my eyes. Just going for the mouth again.
Okay.
I have scare.
Between eyes and I'll consider mouth the same kind of front portion.
Face.
Yeah.
Go for the face.
You watch the kind of frost glazed fronts of each of these eye capsules shatter as the center of this carapace kind of concaves in on itself, and pieces of the plates kind of fall off. You can consider the frost glands and this eye portion broken.
Did it.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, Jira, you.
Gitty. As Jira's just holding back that bow, and like it's bending, like it looks like it's starting to shake, like it's going to actually snap in place. And Jira's just looking down the sights, trying to line it up from head to tail of this thing, trying to line up with the main like front facing eyes, if any, and goes, "Yes, right. Look right here. Yes, you need an eye appointment. I can help." And let go of Skull Piercer, which will do 10 harm at the start of my turn. as it just like cuts like into that front facing eye and just spirals like through this gross carapace.
This carapace is hard enough, too, that as much as you really want this thing to pass all the way through it and just pop out the back...
It won't, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's
you
fine.
hear
it's
the
no
impact
ram,
in the back of this beast. You just boom, as it just gets stuck in the back plate inside of it. Sailed through most of the way.
I should have put that bomb on it there, boss. Next time you have one, I put on arrow. We blow it up from the inside, you know. Jira's going to just kind of pick up her stuff and turn around and start huffing it towards the far range and yell back, "You are doing great. Remember, frostbite might not be permanent, and there's advances in, replacement technologies," as she just gets further away, preparing another shot from the far distance.
It feels entirely illegible at this point. Like her diction is just totally inscrutable at a far range.
Turns
into Simlish.
More rams? You see a ram? What? Okay.
I said it looks like your Uncle Sam.
No. What? There's a it's the isopod.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't have any more icy hot. I used it all up.
So, the move sets for monsters in Monster Guts, because these are new games on stream, we like to throw down a little bit of rules. The rule sets, as they are designed in Monster Guts for the monsters, are on a 2 through 12. So if you want to completely randomize them, I can just give these a roll every time. And that's what I've been doing, because there's lots of moves and they're lots of fun. It is going to actually, much to Jira's chagrin, invert the distance order. As the impact from that thing, it's going to ball back up and just roll straight through the battlefield. Anybody at close range is taken 3 harm. Anybody at near range is taken 2. And then far range is taken 1 and getting staggered as it kind of bounces off of you, running back to far, and it reopens back up, now ready to be right in close slashing range of Jira.
Jira kind of does that awkward, running, yelling something about icy hot as this thing, comes up over the top and is going to do the full, body dive, arms out front as she, knocks herself into a bush and, rolls into her feet and go, "Oh, no, I'm out of icy hot. Oh, no." She just in the bush.
I've got an idea for that icy hot. It's dropping a lot of ice, and then Bass has that cool fire lance. So just hold them real close. Just kind of do a
I don't
sweet
understand why common parlance is going to help me in this moment, but okay.
Oh goodness. All right, Yehudith, you're up, and now currently at far range.
I have 2 health, so I am going to pop my healing potion to be at more health. Am I far enough away that I don't need to roll, or do I roll?
No, you don't need to roll for that.
Great. Back to 10.
Good.
10. Back to 10.
Are you moving up a distance?
And then I'll move up to near, get a little bit closer so I can smash next turn.
Perfect. Kai, you are also at far.
Yeah, I'm also taking the opportunity to kind of collect myself here. I would like to try and sharpen my weapon.
Okay.
I've used a lot of cool moves that have fucked that up, so...
I don't believe there is a roll to successfully sharpen. I just think that's your action, is it not?
There is a roll in the bouts if you're close enough to get hit. Same with items.
Oh, yeah, so you don't have to worry about it. You're at far. You're Gucci. So you sharpen your weapon back up to full edge, and then you make it to near range. Bass, you are currently at near range. You were right in the middle as this thing inverted itself. Took some damage. What you up to?
I would like to sharpen my lance as well. And then could I also like be simultaneously climbing on the back of my caterpal so that way in my next turn I could possibly ride into battle with my lance?
Yes, I'm down for that. Lance feels like the only real appropriate, really appropriate on the back of a caterpal. You gotta.
Yep. So sharpening that up, and it's gonna get weird next turn.
Okay. Sharpened it, and you've mounted your giant caterpillar friend.
Yes.
Jira, what you up to?
So I'm staggered. What does this mean? What does this mean mechanically?
Danielle.
It's never defined in the book because I forgot to define it.
I was looking for it. Thank goodness you said that, because I'm like, I know I've heard staggered. I see it. That's what it is. Then I'm like, I can't find what it means.
Yeah, it's all over the book. There's no definition. So in the past, I have used this to be you can only take one action and you can't use a special weapon move.
Okay, that's totally fine.
We'll use that. I like
that. Jira, who's kind of like picking herself off the ground and looking up at this isopod, is going to call out like, "Hey, Pascal, can you help? Oh, that was right in the kidney." As she's gonna try and like get up and scramble to just be like still within close range, but maybe like flank this thing like through the brush as she's like clambering. Could I use my Palines move?
I don't see why not. I didn't stagger the Paline.
Hell yeah. From like, you hadn't noticed it this entire time because Pascal's very shy and would have been like lurking in the trees, but you'll just see these two massive blue eyes like emerge from the brush over like a little black nose, and a massive little like cowbell and a like hand will come out and just dunk 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 as she uses her bell move, which will draw the attention of the monster. And then just like as instantly as she came, that little furry hand will like pop back into the brush and there'll be a rustle and she'll be gone.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, the beast itself is definitely stirred and confused as it's definitely moving towards this obnoxious bell.
Hey, Pascal, need more cowbell as she continues to like get around.
What we have not addressed this whole time, because I forgot that it happens at the end of each round as well, is there's a tempo change roll to see if extra complications show up. So that'll be fun. Okay. All right. So the bell actually does not seem to have provided you the same kind of benefit that you would hope it does.
Need more cowbell, always more cowbell, I tell you this.
As it turns to your Paline friend, which means it is now facing away from everybody else, does not see you, and just is rattled by this bell, you watch it ball up and peel out.
God damn it.
Deeper into the wood as it has fled. So we are now in a lull, and a lull... Oh, please, no. Go ahead.
I've just taken a big sigh and like getting up, pulling the splinters out of my flannel and my side, and like knocking the rest of the icicles off of my legs.
Okay.
Yeah, Jira's gonna do that thing where she's kind of scrambling to her feet, and as this thing rolls up and starts moving away, she goes, "Oh no, don't go! Ah, you're too fast. You get too far. Oh well."
Okay. The first lull as this monster fled is the first and best time for an intermission in something like Monster Guts. We're going to take a quick break, 5-7 minutes-ish. All four of these fine folks are going to do what they need to and think about what they're going to do during their lull, and then we'll get right back into it here shortly. Thanks so much for sticking around, guys, and thanks for the raid. That was a good time. I'm glad everybody's enjoying it, and we will return here shortly. We have returned for the top shelf. I am your host, Mads. We are playing Monster Guts, which is a Lumen-created system very much in the vein, pacing, and fantastic combat of Monster Hunter, and we are having a good time. Currently, the titanic isopod that they have just been battling has rolled off into the distance somewhere in the once emerald forests, And these 4 intrepid adventurers and monster slayers have some decisions to make as far as what they want to do with their lull as they are continuing to hunt the mon. We'll just start in the same order that I keep announcing everybody in, because I'm looking at Zoom and not the actual table order here. But Yehudith, what are you doing with your lull time?
Well, my hammer is in need of sharpening, so let's sharpen my concrete hammer, and then I want to scrounge for a little something because I used my ambrosia earlier.
Okay, give me a roll.
Alrighty. That is that's a 1.
Very nice. Bitter herbs. Full health restore. Keep a hold of that.
Yeah.
Kai, your 2 lull moves. What you up to?
I would like to assist, so I'm going to use an item on myself to try and heal myself, assuming that we all got like a healing potion or something.
Yes, you all started with 1 full heal.
Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to completely heal myself because hot diggity dang. And then I would also like to scrounge.
Okay, give me a roll.
Okay. A 6.
Very nice. Give me another roll.
Oh, okay. A 4.
A 4. Okay. The stim shrooms, when taken prior, you deal an additional 2 harm on your next strike.
Cool. Yay.
Very nice. Bass, what you up to?
I'm scrounging all around.
For both of your...
Yep.
Okay,
We're going for both.
Give me 2 rolls then.
A 3 and a 4.
3 and a 4. So the 3 is ambrosial honey, cures all status effects, recovers 3 health.
Cool.
And then the 4, give me another roll.
6.
6. It is a somna shroom. When smashed, all close at the start of the next round get +1 to their snooze clock.
What is a snooze clock?
Makes people fall asleep if filled.
Whoop.
And as a note to yourselves and everybody else watching at home, if the monster flees, its clocks are reset.
Damn it.
Sorry, Bass. Jira, you're up.
Jira, like, oh no, it's getting away. And we'll kind of turn and see everyone scrounging and be like, I can find. And she's going to kind of start hoofing after. And for my 2 actions, I would take scrounge to restore my ammo.
Okay.
And I want to use chase. So I leave my allies to immediately start the next bout. Those who don't chase will arrive at the second round. I roll a die, and on the 6, I catch the monster slipping.
Very nice. Give me a roll.
Oh, very nice. I'm very afraid. That's a 1.
Very nice. Okay. On a 1, you come across this great beast once again, and it is unfurled and grumpy, but surrounding it are 3 superior lynx, which are keeping its distance because of the cold rolling off of it. It looks like the Titanic isopod rolled into its territory, but they aren't fucking with the big bug, but they are pissed.
Very cool. You dice, you get it. None of you are ram, so I do not care. And Jira is going to, like, there's going to be a rustle in the bush behind her as she confirms that Pascal has, in fact, followed her to this location.
Okay.
And she's just going to reach back and try to, like, find an arrow and go, I will be buying time, I think, now in this moment.
And then for you, since you showed up on it and you are a bow person, I will give you the option as to what distance you would like to initiate.
I think far, like, as she kind of like she's running, she's hoofing after it, she sees it in the distance and hears the sound of the superior lynx. She kind of do that slow to a jog and, okay, right, yes, I do not wish to die here.
Okay. What are you doing for combat? You have start of whatever you're feeling.
Let me check my weapon to see what I can do. I think I have to be near for all my moves. But I will Let's get this party started, huh? As she just launches a regular shot towards this isopod as it's unfurled, trying to, like, again, target one of those squishy, gross eyes
Okay.
in its side.
Definitely rolling Pierce for that.
Awesome. Okay, so that was a 5.
Okay,
That's my
that's
highest.
a success.
Hell yeah.
What's your
So I've got 1 harm. And then, like, that's it, right? It would just be 1 harm, or do I add my pierce? Okay, 1 harm. Perfect. She just kind of, like, it's that weird little, like, and it just, like, sticks in, but, like, doesn't really do anything. And she goes, yes, you spout. To no one in particular, I am much more effective at rams.
And you are much like somebody trying to play lawn darts. This thing, straight up, straight down. You now have this, like, almost perfect flag just wedged in between 2 plates on the top of this isopod. The isopod itself is going to not really pay a whole lot of attention to that. But the lynx are... They can hear pretty well. And they are going to make some movement. And one of them is going to pounce from near, post that movement, and give you a knock to the ground, which will deal 2 harm. And you are pinned underneath this thing as these 3 show up to your aid. For the sake of this, because you've started combat at far, we are initiating the next round at far with all 4 of you.
Gotcha.
But we'll go same order as we had before. Yehudith, you're up.
Jira, you want some help?
I would very much like that. She's, like, on ground, like, avoiding, like, snapping jaws. Hey, down, kitty, down.
Well, I am going to just sort of try to, like, knock the superior lynx off of Jira.
Okay.
Like, you know, hitting the baseball.
Okay. We'll go crush for that. We're just
right.
barreling in, taking some swings.
Yeah, it's just a very large cat-shaped baseball. And that's a 6.
That's a 6. Very good. What's the damage on that?
That is 4.
Okay. So you hear, which is not probably your favorite thing as a cat owner, a terrible crack as several vertebrae just shatter in the center mass of this lynx, and it flies to the side of you completely lifeless. For everybody else, there are 2 more lynx near range to you all. The isopod is at far range at the moment, and are you moving at all, Yehudith?
I'm going to stand, I think, next to my fallen friend, make sure nobody else pounces on top of her.
With a wheeze, just yells, 4.
All right, Kai, you are up.
Okay, shoot. So we're close to Jira, right?
You are close to Jira, you are near to the 2 lynx, and you are far from the isopod.
Okay. I'm gonna go for one of the lynx here. Yeah, I'm gonna try and do a leech and cut on one of these old lynx here.
Okay.
Just kind of running up, unfurling the scythe, kind of clicking into place and running up and doing a kind of, you know, just a diagonal slashing blow, while also looking back and making sure the friends are okay. So that will lacerate the monster's hide, inflicting 3 harm and 1 bleed.
Okay.
1 bleed clock, yeah.
All right. So, angry and still up. Now, Danielle, not Yehudith. Does this function in the same way Lumen games do, where monster responses can be arbitrated between rounds? Or is this pretty... Okay. So, the second lynx is going to take that opportunity as you strike into the first one. to flank you and pounce from your side, knocking you to the ground and pinning you, and dealing 2 harm. Kai?
Ouch. Okay. This is fine. Everything's fine.
Both links are
Okay.
still up, but the one that you took a strike at is not doing well. Bass,
Okay.
you are up.
I'll go up and stab some lynx.
Okay, what you stabbing?
There's the one that's attacking Kai, and then there's one that Kai
Kai
also
attacked.
attacked. Yeah. Okay. I am gonna go for the one that's already been hit once to at least eliminate one.
Okay, this is just a regular strike with your lance?
Yeah.
Okay. So, go ahead and roll. Let's make this...
Could I wallop
ahead.
it with my lance and attempt to crush it?
Yeah, I'll give you a wallop. Go ahead and crush. Roll crush with your lance.
As I do, I start singing the hit song, Here We Go.
Beautiful.
To let that resonate.
Jira
6.
looks over as this happens and I think I might have crush on Bass. And don't know it makes sense in this moment. She looks up at Yehudith.
Bass,
I get it all the time.
you rolled a 6?
I did.
Very nice. What's your damage?
Damage is edge. So 4 plus an additional 1 because it was a 6. And I have an explosive weapon.
Very good. All right. So, you just clobber this poor thing.
wallop.
Yeah, the impact just splits the wound that was already there and sends it into the dirt, barely hanging together. One left on Kai. Kai is going to take another harm from the unassist there. Jira, you're up.
Jira is going to, with Hammergirl kind of standing over, just kind of flop onto her stomach and push up. I definitely did not have one. I thought perhaps Big Baddie was Ram. My apologies. She gets up and will kind of waver on her feet a little bit because she's feeling that Mr. Krabs, but is going to kind of move towards a more near position towards this isopod, and again fire off a quick shot. So that rapid volley where she just pop, dealing 2 harm to parts of the target in range. Again, just aiming for those eyes, trying to get it, understanding that they've got the lynxes handled, and going after BBEG here.
Okay.
Who did not file a permit?
As you do, you unload this volley into it, and you watch as the thing immediately turns to bellow out at you, and its carapace, all of these plates on its back, start to almost glow blue as ice covers each of these plates, and you watch spines of ice start to erupt from the edges of the carapace.
This seems like reasonable response.
The beast is now enraged and does an additional harm to all of the stuff that harms, when it does that.
Fine. Everything's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't like that.
So,
I will wear ice spires as new fashion accessory.
okay. So let's go and check on the complications for the tempo change. Let's see. Oh no. Oh dear, oh no. Hey Kai, you remember your friend?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Top of this round, we're gonna get the attack from the Titanic isopod, which is going to be. Oh, well, that narratively makes sense. It's a big primordial roar which anything within near range of it, which will be Yehudith, Kai, and Yehudith, you didn't move closer yet. You're still...
Not yet.
You're far. So Kai, Bass, and Jira are all going to take a harm and end up staggered from this roar.
Okay.
But that sound and the rage that this thing is building has called something, depending on the perspective, objectively worse into the territory. A massive crowbeast barrels through the once emerald forests and lands in the same space, ready to face down this terrible isopod now encroaching on its own territory as it bellows back in response. Give me just a moment. I'm going to have this thing make an attack for that thing.
Jira wheezes out between, like, deflating lungs, like, yes, use your words. And towards the monsters as they go to engage.
Okay, so that is... you just watch this thing land, roar, and then just take the swiftest goddamn peck you've ever seen with this massive beak as it strikes down on the top back plates of this bug. And you can watch the top of it just kind of in from the sheer weight of one of these impacts. We are now back to the top of the round. Yehudith, you're up.
All right. There's still one of those lynxes left, right?
Currently on Kai. Yep.
Currently on Kai. Okay. Then I am going to move and bat it off of Kai. Same thing. Word last time. Let's play some golf.
Okay.
And oh boy, let me roll that. Roll 4.
4. Okay. Which is a partial success.
Yes.
So what does the damage normally do on that?
So I would be dealing 4 harm.
Okay. So is that 4 harm and then a complication, or is that narrated by me?
Usually it's 4 harm and a complication, and you can either roll or tell me what terrible thing happens.
Yeah. Okay, so you bat...
No.
Yes,
Oh, no.
I had an idea. So you swing back with this hammer and just... Boo! And it's a hefty swing, far better than your last one. But much to your chagrin, you send it flying off of Kai, dead, and it lands and skids through the ice that this isopod is making and impacts with just enough force one of the feet of this crowbeast that you watch its whole beak just go directly down at you as the response to this. Let's see. It is going to respond with the by 1,000 cuts attack, and as it turns to you, it's going to rear up its wings and beat its wings down at anybody within near range. Is going to take 1 harm and 1 bleed, which I believe at this point is everybody is in near to it.
So here's my question.
Yes.
What happened when you go night-night sleepy time? What happened when you get up and fucks right off? What happened when you get attacked by a giant raven and you be dead now?
2 options. First option is your friend, your paline, knocks you out of the way of the hit, and that can happen 3 times.
Okay.
Or you can take the hit and you're going to gain a blister, which means the next time you go on a hunt, you roll a die, and if you roll equal to or less than how many blisters you have, you can't use that weapon.
Gotcha. So yeah, I think narratively, what makes sense is Jira's like watching this as this bird like comes up and like it like is starting to flap its wings. She go, Well, this you'll disappoint. And before she can get it out, a small white furry like palico just comes out and like kung fu kicks. Like Jira like goes flying into the brush as a little like palico like ninja lands and looks up and will take that harm before disappearing into the brush itself. And you just hear from the like from the brush like more icy hot need.
And narratively, this is real fun too, because those wing flaps, what it is doing is shedding all of its old feathers, and you're watching these needle point feathers at blistering speeds just rain down from its wings. So you get like kung fu kicked into a bush.
Just spiraling out of it.
And this palico just kind of does a dive using the impact of your body, and in the slow-mo of it kind of backflipping over this massive fucking feather that flies right underneath it and sticks into the ground.
Just like cuts its little face as it moves.
shaves 3 of its whiskers in half as it goes.
I'm going to say it now. Pascal's a better hunter than the rest of us combined.
Listen, Pascal MVP for real, always and forever.
Best cat. Oh, goodness. All right. Kai, you are freed of your thing that was on top of you. You're bleeding now from a terrible feather, but you're up and good. What you up to?
Okay. So it's the Titanic isopod and the crowbeast like duking it out. Are any of the lynxes still there?
Lynx are all dead at this point.
Thank God. Okay, great. Very tempted by this crowbeast to continue to add to the growing feather shawl that protects a lot of Kai's armor, and also to get cool horns for Yehudith. But we're here for that goddamn isopod. So I don't know if I can I run up to that close distance?
Yeah, you can still get close.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. And then I'm gonna try and do just a good old leeching cut here, which I know doesn't do as much, but I'm still gonna try and do it. That is the lacerating the monster's hide, inflicting 3 harm and 1 bleed clock.
3 harm and 1 bleed to the isopod?
To the isopod, yeah.
Okay. 3 harm and 1 bleed. And what was the part of it you were attacking? Or were you attacking a part or just center mass on this thing?
Yeah, I think I saw the success with hitting its front legs that first time.
Okay.
And I know it can like roll up and roll on out of here, but I wanted to have a hard time with kind of arcing back a little bit, so I'm gonna continue to attack its front legs.
All right, so you slide in a dangerous maneuver between the feet of this crowbeast, who is perched in such a way that it is just striking straight down on top of this thing, trying to crack it like an egg. As you put yourself right in front of the isopod, right underneath the crowbeast, and start striking in at its legs. Some damage done. Bleed clock's definitely in there now. Bass, you're up.
Bass is going to admire her beautiful lance and slowly start to sing to it. Hold, please. If you wanna fly, come and take a ride, take a space ride with the cowboy, baby. And she's just going to ignite it and just blast off into the lovely... we've hit it in like the mouth and the skull a whole bunch, but she's going for a weak spot. Like if it's got leggies up or something like that, she's just flying right for it.
So functionally, I'll say this as far as what you are aware of the beast so far.
Yes.
The front plating with the eyes is broken as far as that part. You're good there. The back plating is particularly surly. Kai is working on the front legs, and the other named part that has its own individual benefits to the creature would be all of the back legs, which are not quite as carapaced as these front 4 offensive pieces.
So, oh gosh, that was a lot. My brain just broke, just turned off. It was just In Sync Space Cowboy music video was playing in my head. Okay. So she's gonna try to kind of get in where Kai is.
Okay.
With her flight, essentially, and stab in that same area. And also just try to end up as like a protector for Kai by the time she gets done.
Okay.
Because Kai's taken a few hits. I watched.
I'm down for
bad.
that, yeah. So how much, what are the effects on this beast from that attack?
It is a total of 4 harm, and now, explode your lance to travel up to a far distance. If you rocket into a monster, deal 4 harm. Yep.
Okay, very good. All right,
Rocketing through the battle.
Kai, Bass is now in front of you, doing a fantastic, like Darth Sidious spin lance jump right into the front legs of this isopod. Jira is still near range, as is Yehudith, and then Bass and Kai are close range currently. Let me roll for the... Or actually, round's not over yet. Let's get into the crowbeast and the other big bastard. We'll roll for crowbeast first. That is 4. Okay, so it's gonna drive down and just peck again. But now that there's more things around and it can divide its attention, this particular attack does 1 harm to up to 3 close foes, which there are currently now. So 1 harm to the big monster and 1 harm to Bass and Kai. And that would be towards the backplate. Interestingly, the backplate, it had been trying for a minute. That was the final pop. It hammers down on this backplate, and you watch a good portion of them almost split down the center and just slough off this beast. And if you've ever seen that freshly cooked isopod in, Emperor's New Groove, it's, put that right side up, make it alive, but then take the plate off the back. So you're looking at a gross fleshy thing now with lots of legs. It's delightful.
Tasty.
It's still real...
Just like my aunt used to make, very good.
Still real fucking cold. Underneath those plates, it does glow this kind of bioluminous blue that you can see swirling within it. And it is still dripping this kind of hoarfrost off of it. And as soon as those plates leave, it's going to start shelling that back up just so that it's not super exposed just with ice. But that is what you're looking at now. The monster that you're actually trying to attack, that was a 12. That's my favorite move that I wrote for the thing. So the thing that the wrecking ball, or the bowling ball move that it did to get to Jira before the intermission, this is a slightly more fun version of that. This is pinball.
Oh no.
Oh no.
It is going to roll up, and anything up to near range is going to take a harm, but because it is raging right now, everything is taking 2 harm from this. Again, you have your animal friends to help assist keep you alive if this is going to cause you a great deal of issues, but...
If it launches out to the near range, and Jira will be kind of stumbling, kind of pushing up out of the brush to be just mid breath, everything was going to be, and then this thing comes barreling out as a little ninja Pascal pops up again and just pulls, but the 2 of them are still kind of taken under. As both Jira and Pascal get knocked deeper into the underbrush of this once evergreen forest, and you just just this grunt of pain from Jira.
Okay. But no mechanical harm has come to you from that, which is good.
Well, no, one mechanic, because if it's two, right? Does the Paladin take both or just one?
The Paladin doesn't take the damage. It negates the damage by getting you out of it.
Okay, brilliant. Then yeah, just like everything's going to be she's just yeeted back farther into the trees.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so...
could my lovely companion also come join me?
Absolutely. Your Caterpal, is that what they're called?
Yes, my Caterpal, fat one.
Fat
also
one?
pronounced Fatone.
Oh my
Fatone.
god.
So, Fatone, not quite the quickest beast in the wood, has been slowly making his way back to you this whole time. And as the pinball of this massive isopod is getting ready to hit you, it just kind of like squishes back up like a caterpillar does and uses itself like one of those pinball springs and just boonk and knocks the isopod swirling into a different direction, avoiding the harm to you.
It's also going to use the shield that is on its back to help negate that further, essentially, so that way poor Fatone does not also receive damage.
Oh yeah, no worries there. I could never.
My sweet baby.
Sarah would never forgive me if I actually dealt harm to Pascal.
No, listen, I play a D&D character that Turk is actively trying to murder. It's gonna be okay.
Okay. So, the last thing we have to roll for the end of the round, these are getting drastically more complex as things go on. Let's see what happened. Let's go to complications again.
Oh no.
I apologize. I'm not rolling super well for all of these. Okay. So you guys continue forward, and in the once emerald forests, the pinball of this, what it does is it ends up shaking the trees. And as it shakes the trees, you watch the dew that is collecting on top of these toxic plants starts to rain down in this vicinity. Everybody in the area is going to take, including the isopod itself, is going to take a +2 to their venom clock.
How much do we have in our clocks?
For scavengers, it's 1 for everything.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Oh no.
That's what I thought.
We're very fragile. If we had tags, that would help us be less vulnerable. Yes.
Okay. So I will keep that in mind. I didn't realize you guys didn't have clocks. They just take effect. Okay. So the other two, you know what? I'm a generous guy. Let's even it out across the board. Everybody is currently affected by venom currently. Except for, I think, the great crowbeast. I think it's venom immune.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the crowbeast is not affected, but everything, including the isopod, now takes an additional 2 harm. So, smack that thing hard. Yehudith, you are up.
Okay. Hey, Jira.
You just hear a weak like, in a minute.
You want to go for a ride?
I like to go home now, please. There's no rams.
Okay.
There's no mochi. There's no permits.
I'm gonna help. I'm gonna yeet Jira to far distance away from the isopod and the crowbeast. So I'm going to use my hammer as a launch pad and just sort of whoop.
Jira reaches out to the hammer, like thinking you're gonna help her up. She goes, "Thank you, my friend." She like grabs it, and you just like hawk her through space and time. It like slows down and does that. I bet you're wondering how I got here. Spirals through the air to the far distance. Just
Exactly. Yeah. You be over there, heal yourself up, do your business, whatever.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Now that I spent an edge on that, and then I'm going to get on the back of my Doja Pal Incorrigible and ride towards the isopod because I'm too far away and I need to be smashing its face in.
Okay. From close to near, or from near to close, you become.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I take a harm because I'm bleeding and have moved.
Oh shoot! Why are you bleeding?
Because the
feathers.
Oh, the feathers! Because there's no clocks. Oh god, you're all bleeding and venomed.
Yeah, no, you're being really mean to us.
As a helpful hint, if anybody has that ambrosia hanging out, that would be nice right now.
Oh my gosh, I have some ambrosia hanging out. Hello.
One of us will
smear it on your face.
The swelling immediately goes down.
I need it real bad, personally. Does anyone else need it worse than me?
No, you need it. You take it.
I've got, one health available to myself.
Same.
So
Big same.
I've got 100% more than that, so you go ahead and take that.
Excellent.
Kai, go ahead and what are you up to?
Oh no.
No.
Just bleeding from all like the exposed skin and even like parts of the armor kind of like flapping down because of the crowbeast's attack. Kai's not doing so hot, but she's gonna look over at her caterpal and say, Hey Sting, can you get in there? And Sting's gonna go and kind of like scoot in front of the isopod and is going to try and set a trap.
Okay. All right. So explain to me this trap.
The trap, it locks the monster in place until the next round, preventing it from moving.
Ooh. Okay. All right. Way down for that. I'm game.
Sick.
Dope.
Okay.
So this little thing just kind of, mind you, and I apologize for the imagery and the worry, but this little grub, big grub, but little grub for the crowbeast, runs right in front of the crowbeast and sets a trap in front of the isopod.
Sting, get out of there, buddy!
He just like looks up with like massive, like glowing, shimmering eyes at this huge bird looming above, like that, like super cute, like no senpai.
You look at the bird, and the bird's just like ooh. I'm going after the wrong bug.
He's not for you. He's not for you. He looks like a good meal, but I promise he's not for you.
Okay. So, did you do anything with your... Or, I think you have movement still and stuff if you would like.
Yeah, I'm kind of afraid to because if I move, then I take a harm and I'm already bleeding. I'm at 10 out of 12, so I'm not... Well, 2 out of 12, technically, for the amount of health that I still have.
How do the health items work? Because that's a question for my turn.
So 2 things. First thing is when you drop to 0, you do refill back to full, but you just gain this blister.
Okay.
So it's not like dead or AWOL or whatever. For the healing items, if you are within range to be hit, you roll a die, and hopefully you don't get smacked, but the healing item just takes effect.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
So I'm near, right? So that means that there's still one more distance before the isopod.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fuck it, I'm going for it.
YOLO.
Yee.
From a puddle in the ground, just YOLO.
Yeah, I'm just gonna run up and try and just, give it a good old scythe attack here. So I'm gonna just try and hit it the best that I can. I don't know if this is a crush or a slice.
I'm gonna say this one's probably crush from what it's sounding
Okay.
like.
Dope. All right. So that I rolled a 1 and a 3. So I don't know what that does.
1 and a 3, so 3 is the top there.
Cool.
3 is a failure. 3 is a mixed success.
Shoot.
So
Okay.
give me another d6.
Okay. It's 2.
2. Okay. So based on that 2, we're gonna say okay. All right. So how much damage do you deal first?
That does. I don't know.
What's your edge right now?
Oh, my current edge is 3.
Okay, 3 damage. You're swinging at the same spots, I take it?
Yeah. Yeah, just still going for it.
Okay.
Get those feetsies out of here.
That is actually enough to send it just under its second rage threshold. So it is pretty beat up at this point. It's getting real close, but it is still hanging in there. And in response to that, the isopods, because you're still attacking those front legs and kind of trying to protect your caterpal, one of them is kind of dug in, and what it tries to do is rear up to strike you. What it ends up doing is it's just a little bit too lodged in the dirt and the mud of this venom dew, and it pulls, and it ends up like flipping the earth and like pulling it up out of like, and you and your caterpal are sent like just skidding backwards. You'll take a harm from that, but you are both now near as opposed to close.
Okay.
Isn't that 3 harm because of the poison?
And
The
moving.
venom.
It was a
It's
4.
like, not
Good
great.
lord. Okay, yeah, that's
need
4
4, eh?
harm.
What?
Ow! I'm sorry. I'm being that girl.
No, I
No,
love it.
it's
You're
like
fine.
this is the way that it be, man.
Okay, so if that drops you below your total health, you'll take a blister.
Mhm.
You'll drop back
Yeah.
up to full.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. And I don't know how long the trap says it lasts until the next round, so however many turns are left within that.
Yeah, so it's I think the benefit to that is it's not using any of its rolling up like bowling ball skills this round,
Thank
which
goodness.
is super
That's
helpful.
all we need.
Bass, you're up.
All right, so I'm still like right next to it, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna take my lance and I'm gonna poke it in the. You said that the back armor essentially had all fallen off the back plate.
Yeah, so its back plate is exposed now. It's
Is
not
it-
benefiting
am
from
I,
the
like-
reduced damage.
Able to stab right up in there.
Yeah, so mechanically what that means, because it was hard shell up until this point, it's no longer hard shell, so it's taking full damage from any main
Ooh.
body blows now. It has been doing reduced
Excellent.
damage from pretty much everything up to this point.
Now I'm gonna attempt to stab it in the back
Okay, go ahead.
area where there's no more plate.
Go ahead and make a... Let's make that a pierce roll.
4.
A 4, mixed success. But so you stab into this back plate, or this back of it, and you hear the terrible squish and the pop and sizzle, as it were, of your Bernie lance. What is the edge on your weapon?
4.
4. Okay. All right, so let me go.
I think technically it's at 3 right now though, because I did my space cowboy ride into battle.
Oh, okay, got it. So I will adjust that. Oh, but it is also taking, because I decided to allow that, it is also taking the additional 2 damage because of the venom dew. So, you plunge your lance directly into the side of this thing, and what it is constantly trying to do is recarapace itself with this ice. And as you stab it inward, your lance becomes lodged as it's constantly trying to recover itself, and ice just shoots up the side of your arm, and locks you in place. So you are currently immobilized for the next round until you are broken out of it.
I can break myself out of this.
I mean,
I've been in worse.
You could always use your next round to try to break yourself out too, but Jira, you are up.
Jira, who has been yeeted and just kind of like landed, is just kind of it's that little girl meme. Like, I take a nap right here. Like, is on that far range, just kind of like pulling at the dirt, going, I guys. She's like not saying words anymore. But she's gonna like reach in. I do have this full heal item that she would like to use at this moment in time, as she just kind of like flops on her back and like looks at the weird forest sky and just kind of like Capri Suns this full heal item, like, and just power squeezes it into her mouth, and kind of as she does, like, sits up and looks at the back of Yehudith's head and goes, and like throws the canteen to the side and go, all right, we fucking go now, I guess. And we'll kind of stagger to her feet, now at full health, bow at her side, pulling out an arrow, as she is now going to move, like, start walking. And again, it's that, like, tired, like, your mom's yelled at you to, like, go feed the dog, but you don't want to, kind of shuffle up to stand next to Yehudith at that near range. Or I guess Yehudith's close, but, like, move towards the near range.
Okay. Sounds good. So you are near. Kai is near. Bass and Yehudith are close.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. So, in order, the crowbeast is moving first. It's a little bit quicker than this isopod, and it is going to use beguile, which it's going to start flapping its wings again. But this time straight down, and you're not sure what is going on in its methodology in doing so, but as it beats down against the ground, it ends up stirring up, much like an octopus trying to escape, like just black smoke and darkness just fills the battlefield.
Uh-oh.
So for the next round, and here forward, at least for the isopod as well, all foes, regardless, have a chance of hitting the crowbeast or their closest ally with the next attack.
Yay!
The isopod is going to then try to attack, which is going to be more leg strikes. It batted you two out of the way, so all of those are going to go into the crowbeast, or attempt to. I'm just going to arbitrate these as, let's see. Okay, yeah, that's all pretty solid. That was 3 odds. Okay, the crowbeast is going to take 6 harm from that, which is not too bad against the talons. So that's all right, and then we roll for complication at the end of the round, or something else to change, rather. And that will be wherever the hell that page went. I keep losing it. There it is. Okay, so that is an attack, an additional attack from the monster. Since the crowbeast kind of has the field again, I'm going to roll for the crowbeast again. And that is a 10. The 10, as this sky is blackened and you all can't see much anymore, you can hear the murderous caw of this crowbeast as the sky fills with regular-sized crow caws, which start bearing down and pecking into anything and everything. All foes are going to take 2 harm from that. And ironically, it says you now also suffer bleed and venom, but you're also dealing with that anyway. So I guess it's not as bad as it could have been. But everything's taking 2 harm, including the isopod from that.
Is that 2 harm or is that 4 harm because we're all poisoned?
It would be 4 harm because you're all poisoned.
Okay.
Oh
Thank you for making me more dangerous regularly.
I'm sorry, friends.
No, it's
going
good.
great.
I mean, it's not great. It's pretty bad, but like, okay.
We're just blistered. It's fine.
God.
Ah, ah.
All right,
I
so
packed Volskin instead of Moleskin, so this blister's going to be bad.
goodness, Yehudith, you are up next.
Okay. Well, I have 2 health, but I am more interested in smashing this monster, I think, than in healing myself. So let's get to it. I am going to use Yeah, I'm going to use Bone Crusher again.
Okay.
So I'm going to swing my hammer around and then crunch back into those 4 legs.
Okay.
Into those 4 legs. That'll be doing 6 harm, and if those 4 legs are hard, I do 2 more harm.
Very nice. Okay. And then because it is venomous, you do 2 more harm. That's 10 total.
Oh, dang. Yeah. Okay.
So you swing down. Oh, I feel terrible now. Please roll a d6 for me. There's a 50-50 chance you don't hit that.
Oh, no. Oh, no. That's sorry. To 3.
Okay. Hold on. Nope, I was like, what did I designate before? Odds are preferred target. So yes, you do strike the isopod. Because that's what I had him roll for the crowbeast. So that was a successful swing as you spin around, not 100% sure you're going to hit this thing, but you collide with all 4 of them have kind of reared up and formed a defensive posture, not being able to see either. And you hit all 4 of them center mass, and you can feel splinters of this carapace just fly past you and kind of hit the side of your face as all of them kind of shatter, left with only bits of what they were. All right. Very nice.
Woo!
Kai, I believe you are up.
Okay. Cool. Super cool. Oh, God. What am I gonna do here? Beep, 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 beep. Just panic and try and just do another leeching cut towards it. Now seeing that, the protective plating on the back is gone, I think I'm gonna try and like arc it so that it hits the back on like those glowy parts.
Okay. Very nice. Go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
Please leech that leech, please.
Odds are successful.
I got a 1.
Very nice. That's a success.
Okay, great.
Yay!
Wasn't a 1 to 3, 4 to 6. Odds are successful. So you good. You take a
Okay,
swing, arc down, and cleave directly into this, and you just get covered in bioluminescent, like Frigidaire ichor. You've just cut into the piping on the back of your fridge. You're now real cold, and also glowing blue in all of this darkness. And you can hear the roar of this great and terrible titanic isopod as it gasps its last breath. However, insects happen to do that, and it goes down, collapsing, and all of its legs
God.
splay out, and you can hear the shudder of the earth as it hits the ground full force, no longer suspended by its many, many legs.
Very good.
Yes.
Very nice.
Woo!
So, at this point, you've still got a big fucking crow who's trying to eat some bug.
Fuck.
I love it's like, fuck yeah, fuck no.
We will see what happens there by the end of this round, but at least for this round, you still got some threats involved. Bass.
When this went down, did the ice that was holding my arm attached to this beast break? Or am I still just kind of a part of it as it collapses into the ground?
Yeah, you're still stuck to it right now. It is bioorganic, but it was still causing that ice. It's not a magic thaw. You're still stuck.
Cool.
It like topples over and you're just attached like B or your arm like up and suspended. You know what I mean?
See the little bit
No.
of
No.
Yeah. See a little
How
bit
far away is the crowbeast from us right now?
It's close to you, as is the bug. Yeah. Anybody who is close to the bug is close to the beast.
Okay. We're all in this together. Sorry, wrong type of music. I'm just gonna look at my arm and just sing down to it. I want you back. I'm just gonna rip it as hard as I can to try to like pull my lance out.
Okay.
And like grimace in pain. Am I also able to just take like my healing stuff at any point now? Because I am ouched. Well, I guess we technically went back up to full when we got blistered. Never mind.
Yeah, if you
I'll
hit a
sit here.
blister, you go back up to full.
Yeah.
So roll crush for me.
Crush. Excellent. Can do. Got that can do attitude. 5.
5. Very nice. So you wrench you and your blade out of this beast. Now a red glow in the darkness, your arm basically up to your shoulder, covered in a blue glow that is still fairly chilly, but you know, you got a hand warmer.
I'm icy hot.
You
Me.
are icy hot.
You are.
Me. I'm a vibe. All right.
Jira's crush only deepens.
Yes. And then I will turn and stare at the crowbeast, I guess, and just stand there because I don't think I have anything left. Just like, heck.
Okay. Sounds good. Jira.
And I'll start thinking of my next song. That's what I'll do.
As one should.
Jira respectfully from a distance, who is preparing to like re-enter the foray, will like see as Kai like cuts, like nearly cleaves his isopod in two, and then Bass just wrenches her arm free and goes ham, and we'll just like have that moment of like that, like the ringing in the ears of like, I have found the person, and then we'll look up at this raven thing and go, "You'll leave future wife alone, please." And we'll actually try to shoot at this thing to try and make it go away now, please.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
Oh, hell yeah, that's 2 6s. This is insane.
Amazing.
Very nice.
That's very good.
Okay.
Yeah, just trying to target, like, not trying to hurt it so much as just, like, make it go away, being annoying.
Trying to piss it off. Okay.
Well, kind of just, like, fuck off.
Yeah. Bother the birds.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, so the crowbeast. Let's see. Okay. So it's gonna take one more. It's gonna continue pressing on.
It will take 1 harm too.
Yes, I have marked down the 1 harm. All right. All foes within near, as it beats down again, are going to take another arrow or feather to the knee, which is 3
2,
harm.
right? Because
Venom is the +2, so it's 1 harm plus the 2.
shit.
Anything within near range.
GD
That's a
it.
blister for me,
That's
Captain.
blister here as well.
Welcome to Blister Town.
Yeah.
Population, Kai and Bass, and now you.
I didn't know we were playing
And
Dark Souls
us.
1.
Yeah, Corn Dog,
Gosh,
I don't
dang
ever
it.
want to hear that one word chunk again.
Blister Town?
Nah, it's dreadful. It's
Welcome.
terrible.
I do like.
Blister Town.
Welcome to the Blister Town.
Population 4.
You can't use your weapon. Not really anymore.
Ouch. Ouches.
I'll give you full credit for bringing Bo Burnham back through that somehow. Like top quality Blister Town, I don't hate as much anymore. There are worse words. Anyway, so top of the round, there is a chance that this poor beast could flee.
That would be great.
Please do. Please go home to your husband. Tell him about your disappointing day. Leave us fuck alone.
Where are the complications? Come on. There we go. Oh, you lucky sons of bitches. The only reason...
He's no lucky skill.
The only reason those feathers came down, you thought it was going to rear up for another attack, but really it's just molting season, and these things are just coming out when it's starting to flap. But it gains height, and it fucks right off as this thing flies through the woods. And the whatever relative light in this dense, shitty canopy that y'all are underneath returns. And in front of you is a dead, raw lobster flesh looking ancient bug motherfucker that's kind of blue, bleedy at this point. Everything's a little melted, like there's not really any ice left. The warm has returned to the area, and y'all are alive. So that's good.
Guy.
Hey, yeah.
Look at check its pockets for permit.
Pretty sure I'm not gonna find it. It's just gonna be a lot of goo and cold. Just a lot of that.
That's fair. I'm going to stay back here because it smells very bad.
Oh yeah, and Kai just kind of thunks a lot of the goo that's just covering her, just flicks it off onto the ground. Yeah, it smells terrible. It's like, imagine the worst smell possible, but like it's been out in the sun for 4 years. It's just bad. It's bad. Are we gonna carve some guts out of this thing?
Oh God, not my clowns, not my rodeo.
So you two are already already in it.
You would have make very good points.
So how about Jira and I will take the outside, and you two can take the inside.
We keep eye out for more bad guys.
Yeah, that.
Great.
Okay.
Good teamwork. Nice work, Jira.
Are you all? Was that your cue to harvest from it? Was that the idea?
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody roll a d6 for me.
Come on, buddy.
I have gotten a 2.
Okay.
Six.
I got a 5.
Your parts. So anyone with a 1 or a 2
Yes.
took intact pieces of the front eye spaces. These will grant you
Ooh.
the ice tag on
Amazing.
your items.
Jira just
Icy
grabs
hot.
grabs and she oh sorry, I do want these though. This is my favorite arrow. She grabs it from that front eye, just pulls it out, and the whole eye just comes slocking out of the socket. She goes, "Oh, these very good."
Well, does it taste like fish eye?
I'm not going to taste, friend. You smell like armpit of the universe. It's bad.
Oh, now you're making me sick. Oh.
This
You
thing
want
has
to use for hammer, just kind of smear it on there, you know?
Oh goodness, I love this. Kai, what did you roll?
I got a 5.
Okay. So Kai, you look at the amount of times you have been slammed around and find a couple real shiny pieces of its carapace that are, weren't shattered by the crow, which will grant you the armor tag, which you can use.
Yes.
And Yehudith, what'd you roll?
6.
Also pieces of the carapace, the armor tag.
Awesome.
Very nice. Amongst those were also the stun tag and the dash tag, actually. So,
Yeah.
a couple different options for the isopod. But you have gathered all the pieces you could possibly carry with from this great and terrible beast and marked down its path through the woods so that your I almost said tavern, village can come and collect from it once you return, and it is a slow, painful walk back to town.
Before they leave, Jira would kind of pull out of a random pouch just a crappy piece of parchment, and in the she'd dip a finger in the bioluminescent goo and write out kind of children's scratch, using it to kind of stick on the remains, here lies monster, did not file permit, proceed with warning. And we'll turn to Bass, kind of covered up into the elbows in this goo, and we'll just look at Bass and go, is there anything you would like to add?
To your no?
Well, just do this scene in general. I feel like you have an artistic touch that speaks to my soul. I mean, I think you're a nice lady.
The anticipation.
Just a warning of, careful. It makes you ill.
This is good.
It's gross, is all that's written.
Yeah, just with a frowny face with really angry eyebrows that's throwing up.
It is Mr. Yuck. That's essentially what we've made.
Beautiful.
Spectacular. Beautiful. Okay. So, any final business in the wood?
Well, bears do business in wood, but I do not. I am a civilized person.
So,
all right.
All four of you return to town as the rest of the hunters see you guys. Wait, what?
I'm back, Sarah. Oh, it's fine.
Bye.
Bioluminescent bears is natural predator to Ramslayers. You gotta be really careful what you do. Cannot leave trail. Can be tracked. Sorry, I go night. Good night.
Purple, Sarah broke everybody. Purple. It's not just Sarah that broke.
My face hurts.
Yeah, the whole back of my jaw is cramping right now. I'm in pain.
Same. Oh God. So, all of the rest of the hunters in town watch you return down the trail as they drive their trick shovels into the sides of this trench that they've been using to fill the ground with. A couple of them trying to dig out Yehudith's new napping place. And the patriarch of the village greets you all with open arms, issuing you a wonderful job well done to killing whatever the heck that was, and then pauses for a moment and goes, whatever the heck was that?
I can definitively say no to Ram. Not a goat, not a ram, not a bighorn sheep. Not really anything in that family. More like bug, right? Bess, what you think?
Bass will just extend a hand, like expecting something to be put in it.
He hands you a damp rag. It's like you're a little. Yeah, no, you should clean yourself up. That's a good idea.
I'm sorry, are you telling my very beautiful friend here that they are not perfect in the way that they are? I do not appreciate this.
Oh no, I don't disagree that you all are perfect in the way that you are. We're very accepting in general. I just mean that your arm smells like insect shit. And you should do something about it.
How you know they smell like?
Looks down at the Caterpillar. I mean, I'm sorry. He's right. It does smell really bad.
Not you, Fatone. I love you.
Did you
You
just
not
call...
use litter box for your friends? DC's NPCs.
Did you just call your Caterpillar Fatone? When you registered it, it said Fat One.
Yeah, it's the same.
Oh.
I'm sorry you have issue with the way my perfectly wonderful friend talk. I do not like.
Oh, no, I just was worried I was mispronouncing it. But now that I know that it's interchangeable, it makes it better. Did you... You know what? Never mind. Good job to the four of you. I'm very proud that you managed to take down the terrible thing, and maybe next time you can go head the opposite direction in the into the old cities, the ruins thereof, and see if there are more of these. Since you've already encountered them before, we could use, the rest of those gone.
Yeah.
Motion to call new monster Christopher. Do I have a second?
As long as his last name's Kirkpatrick, that's fine.
I am fine with this motion. Any opposed? The motion passes. Thank you very much. I shall be making note of this in very secret notebook.
Well, since you were the first four to find it, I have no choice but to abide by the laws of our land, which are the same that sent you out there, and hereby dub this terrible, stinky insect Christopher Kirkpatrick.
I'm real glad that we murdered Christopher Kirkpatrick.
Poor guy.
Ah, shit. I forgot about that part.
All right, folks, that is
No, one last thing.
I also have another thing.
The next morning, when Bass awakes, outside of her door will be a small basket in which will be the eye of Christopher with a small note that is written in bioluminescent that says, "I only have eye for you, Mochi tonight at 6 p.m. ? And with inviting her out on a date if she would like to go, and if not, that's fine too. I'm a very respectful being, but could not pass up pun."
How many eyes did this thing have? Because I definitely think I took the other one.
Mm-hmm.
But
there were like 14.
Oh, perfect. I took the really busted one from early on in the battle, and I wrap it up in a different basket, and I walk it over, and then little note inside that says, "As long as there's no strings attached," and then just tucks that in and then runs back after like ding dong ditching.
Jira opens and sees the note and go, "Oh, this is very good." Like hard cut.
Yeah. Blackout, roll credits. Right there, it's perfect. Just
Oh my god.
just a wide shot from across the town, looking at Jira, looking at the note on her doorstep. Oh, this is
Danielle,
good.
is this what you anticipated when
This is so much better than I anticipated.
When you made
but,
this game.
fantastic?
you know, but let's be real. I think that the real goal of Monster Guts is to get you to start playing a Monster Hunter dating sim. That's the logical trajectory of this game. And so
Incredible.
I'm so pleased that y'all have. Yeah, exactly.
That's
y'all
what
have
I bring
realized
to
the
the
goal.
table. Not that great of a Monster Hunter, but I am here to date my friends.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Every TTRPG, I think, has that goal just underlined in the fine print on the side. All TTRPGs are dating sims. It's delightful.
Yes.
But thank you all so much for hanging out. This is so much fun. I very much enjoyed that. It was a good time. I know this is a shorter episode than we normally do, but hey, that was delightful. And now we move on to some brief conversation about, the game itself. What everybody feel like. What are we feeling? Because I know there's. I have not asked you, Corndog. Have you played Monster Hunter, or is this?
Oh no, I have epilepsy, so I don't play video games.
Nice. Okay, so we've got
Totally fair.
2 folks here, other than Danielle, and who have played Monster Hunter. Actually, 3, including myself. We've all played Monster Hunter. Corndog has not. I want to start with Corndog's opinion then. What did you feel about the game? How did it go for you? What did you like? Tell us about it.
I like the dating sim part and yes. No, I liked that it felt like each of the books were very distinctly different, or books. Each of the weapon types and creating your character based off that. For me, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I honestly saw the art for the Firelands and I was like, that looks like a wicked shank. That would tear somebody up, putting it in and then pulling it back out of them. And so it looked really violent, and that's why I chose it. It didn't have anything to do with mechanics, because that would have made more sense. I could have had a dope-ass scythe, which would have been real cool, because when you were using the scythe, Ash, I was just like, oh my god, that's such a cool weapon. And I just sat here, I was like, well, I've got my Space Cowboy Lance.
That's
so
good,
we can
though.
put that art in the chat so people can see what the Firelands looks like.
Oh,
yeah,
in
the Discord. Yeah, in the show discussion. So if you're not in the Discord, let me go ahead and drop that really quick.
Shift control.
Come join the Discord in the TPK show discussions channel. We'll post some of the art for the weapons, because truly it is gorgeous art. It is really incredible. The art in this book completely is just magnificent.
Uploading. Hold, please.
Yeah, no, it's
so good.
It really is. It's top quality stuff. It's all very, very colorfully stylized stuff. And from somebody who's played Monster Hunter 2, it's very, very distinctly separate from any of the art from Monster Hunter 2, which is really cool, because I think you can take a game that's we're gonna file the serial numbers off of Monster Hunter and turn it into a tabletop. You could very much do a similar art style and nobody would bat an eye at it and be like, yeah, dope. But the fact that it is very colorfully different in, I guess, the aesthetics that it withholds to, and this being not necessarily we're going to visit a new land, or these are just roaming monsters and we're part of this. It's no, this is the fucking end of the world. We're past that point. Capitalism's destroyed us. Everything's polluted. These monsters are a result of our own hubris, and now we have to live off of them. Gives everything a very different flavor while maintaining the same beautiful core elements that Monster Hunter does, and that's very, very cool.
I completely agree with those statements, and I feel like, as coming from playing the game, the magic of this system and the magic of Monster Hunter is it really is dependent on what weapon you choose, what kind of experience you get, whether you're playing something like the bow, which is you stay far away, you're dodging, you're constantly in motion, you're relying on stamina, versus something like the scythe or the hammer, where you are having to sharpen, you are having to get up close, and how that narratively made a difference in the way these characters interacted. I loved that was kept in the feel of the system at large, as a fan of Monster Hunter, and it just felt good. I knew when my turn came, I knew combo wise or whatever what my particular weapon, what was next in the flow of things, and that it just felt really good.
Kai, I need opinions from you. What are you thinking? What are you feeling?
Oh my God, this is so much fun. I have played Monster Hunter since like 2008, back when it was on the PS2 and the PSP. It was like the only game that I played for a year straight with like 2 or 3 other people. So playing that and then playing every other iteration of Monster Hunter that's ever come out. I love this system so much, especially just having that experience of just going and killing monsters and like stealing all their guts and making cool weapons and armor from it. And then turning this into a ttrpg is like the just chef's kiss, the greatest goddamn thing on the planet. It's very well thought out. All of the weapons, as Sarah said, are artfully crafted in the sense that they all feel very distinct from one another. Even just like having the chance to like go and scrounge for stuff, that's a huge part of Monster Hunter too. Like actually going out into the world to go and get new materials to go and craft something, or find something that can help heal you. Like that's a huge part of Monster Hunter, and I'm just so glad that seeing all these different cool things that you can get when you're going and scrounging for stuff are in this game. And just thank you, Danielle, for creating this masterpiece. I love it so much.
Oh gosh.
So good. Yeah. I JK knows this as well. Like I'm a huge fan of like RP rule light systems. Like this gives you just what you need to do to interact with the world. It's not going to mandate like how cool your character feels or what they're going to do, and it doesn't make any like statements around like their personality like a charisma or wisdom might. It's literally just here are the abilities your character has, go nuts. And that's so much fun as like someone who enjoys the role play part of ttrpgs to get to engage in just like balls to the walls, go for it. Because it's like if my character misses a shot, that's fine. But if my super charismatic character can't convince someone, like that doesn't matter in this game. Like it just throws that out the window. And I love that because it is that just like we're going in, we're fighting monsters, and I can be whoever I want to be while doing that. And I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with all of those. And Danielle, you're just going to have to listen to us blab and compliment you for a little bit, because that is the nature. That is the nature of the top shelf. But from a GM's perspective, I'll say a couple interesting things about it. One, traditionally, I fucking hate using tables. I don't myself like using tables. It's very hard for me to manage. However, this game is designed in a way where if I were to run that again, because the top shelf is formulated in a way that I don't see it until like, I typically don't read these until like 1 or 2 days before. Me fumbling through some stuff, normally I'm a bit cleaner than I am tonight, and I apologize, but like most of the time I'm still missing a couple things, and that's done on purpose. Like I want to be able to run into this as a GM who is not expertly studied the material. Kind of the purpose of the top shelf is to find these games that like anybody can play and anybody can jump into without a whole lot of effort. And the way that the tables are set up for the GM side of stuff, for complications and the additions of monsters or the changes to things, are concise enough that, one, there's not a million of them. Two, they're D6 tables. They're not hard to manage. Both of those are great. And three, they flow in a way that's consistent enough that I know where to look for them. Like there was something about the flow of me running the game that says, all right, after Jira's turn, I'm going to roll on that table. So I can already have the page up and I'm already ready for it. It's not like, oh, this thing happened I wasn't expecting. Let me go find a table. Like, I don't know. There was the order of combat is very, very nice from a GM's perspective. It feels really clean, and it gives me the freedom to do stuff, but also it is difficult enough that if you want to play it easy and not have to worry about as much as a DM, you can just run the monsters in standard turn order with everybody else, and you Gucci. And it's great. It's the D12 attack list is, I think, the fucking my favorite thing on the whole system, because even if you look at like D&D, most monsters have like 2 or 3 attacks and like the things that they can do and how they manifest. This 2d12 or the 2d6 or the 12 items that they can do to attack, it's like, one, you could just use it as a helpful tip and run all of those narratively, but there's so much there that if you want to roll every attack random and you want to play this RNG like a video game, just go for it, and there's still so much flavor that comes out of it, which is really cool.
I think that can be a challenge in TTRPGs, is making combat dynamic and like interesting, and oftentimes can rely on the creativity of the GM to describe like, this is why this is impactful. This is why like you care. This is what it looks like. So to have such a great resource to pull from, to like, that is totally random or whatever, seems like just a fantastic resource. And particularly with like a monster hunter build, like an Ash, I mean, we can attest to this, right? Like, it's a cinematic game. Like, you feel like when you're like sliding under monsters or climbing on top of them or like repositioning, like it's the visual shots of that. So anything you can give the GM to create that for the players, like chef's kiss, so good.
100%. And like, I love narrating things, so I am comfortable in a space where there's not a whole lot of that. But the fact that there is so much means that this really is accessible in that cinematic way for a lot of people, which is really, really good. The other thing that we didn't touch on in the game that I would love to play 3 or 4 sessions of is one of the things that I have a hard time as a Monster Hunter player is it feels a little bit repetitive. The nice part about TTRPGs is you can lay story through all of that very easily, and you can run with various different things. And the way you guys scavenge for not necessarily monster parts to, you need 14 of these to build this piece of armor, but you scavenge for basically tags to attach to things is brilliant. Like, because it means that, I'm not going to run a 2-year campaign of this, because after 5 or 6 monster hunts, you're going to have a good number of those tags in theory. But the fact that, like, those tags exist, and it's just like, yes, this is part of your armor now, and you can narrate that however you want, kind of like how Sarah was saying, like, it just gives you enough that flavor-wise, you gotta go nuts. But long-standing-wise, if you want to play the same characters with multiple hunts, it gives you enough to continue to feel like you're growing without penalty, which is also cool, because I feel like Monster Hunter doesn't really penalize you other than kind of sending you back to the start saying, yeah, go at it again. And it's just there to have fun and be cinematic. So the lack of that kind of death mechanic is kind of fun to play with, because you just get to be a lot in a session.
Yeah. Corndog, I saw you came off mute. Did you have a comment?
Something was said, and I was reminded of how grateful I am about the icy hot reference that got to go throughout, and how I got that tag of icy for my weapon, which is a fire
weapon.
Yep. I was like, I am icy hot, and like,
you are icy hot.
I'm just so excited about that right now.
Yes,
it's amazing.
And I think like I'm gonna push back a little bit, because JK said, like, maybe you wouldn't run this for 2 years, and I'm like, I think you could, because it's so loose. Like, those monster hunts can be literally whatever you want, and you're giving your players the room to role play and lore build and like dating sim their way through like the interconnections of this. And like, as a GM, you roll up with like a village, and like that's the game, right? Is like these people like being the scavengers who can protect this village, and you're just throwing new bad weird monsters at them. And like, yeah, they have to collect these tags, but like in true Monster Hunter fashion, getting that next set of armor is hard. It is difficult. So it is going to take you multiple attempts of like tracking the monster, learning its moves, all of the things. And I think this system is loose enough, but gives you the like structured framework that you can really do that. And like adding on to that, the blister dynamic, like the playability of that alone, because I mentioned this in chat, like as Monster Hunter player, I only played with the bow, and the game doesn't force you to do anything different. This blister dynamic completely changes everything because now you have a hunter going out there with a totally different weapon. It completely changes the team dynamic, the narrative dynamic, like everything about the encounter. Like if you've got a monster that's only weak to piercing, but all your team has blisters to piercing and can't get a piercing weapon, like what does that narratively mean for this village and for these characters? Like there's a lot of longevity in this system, I think, that could be really cool to explore, like
actually
legitimately.
No, that's super cool insight, because I hadn't I guess broached that perspective for how loose it is, because I guess for context and I guess promo for not really myself, because I just think it's fun, but I went a little ham with the whole game, and like the Titanic isopod does not exist in the game. I wrote one for it, and I wrote one and formatted it in such a way that probably Monday or Tuesday I'm going to be releasing it on itch for the game jam, for the Monster Guts game jam. The Guts Jam. Yeah. Where there's a whole bunch of other monsters and things that a whole bunch of people in the community have made. And it's like, the fact that it is that easy to build a jam where it's just like, yeah, we're going to throw down monsters, is it's like you could scale these up and make them harder. You could add different tags. You could change all of these and like continue to evolve the world based on the narrative of your own campaign. So like, yeah, Sarah, I think that's perfect notes as far as it may not at surface feel like that, but I think its longevity does come from its looseness and the fact that it gives the player to you, or the power to you.
Right. I think oftentimes, like in TTRPGs, like again, combat's a tough space. It can be clunky. It can take time. It can make players. It can be honestly like demoralizing a little bit as you're just like slogging through combat to do the thing. But this is quick. This is light. And like in the grand scheme of Monster Hunter, like Iceborne exists. That's just like, oh, you thought monsters were crazy? What if they were all ice monsters? And like the impact that has on the camp. And if you add in players who are telling stories about their characters, like it's just gonna fucking go. Like you don't have to worry about like a political thriller. You can just be like, no, that monster that you know that you've like fought 100 times, well, now it has fire powers, so fuck you. And like, what are you gonna do about it? And it's simple and straightforward, but gives you a foundation to just keep building off of.
Super good.
I also like that this was light enough that I could easily bring it to a brewery with me and be like, hey guys, want to kill some monsters? And we could just sit around and be weird, which is like stuff that I've done with other Lumen systems. Like just a couple weeks ago, we played Score at a local brewery just because we're like, we just want to hang out, play games, and also consume alcohol in a really neat venue. And like, yeah, it's fun to bring like tabletop games and board games and stuff with you sometimes, but also sometimes it's nice to just know that your friend Corndog has a backpack full of dice and some weird games, and we can just show up and play them. And I feel like this is one of those ones that's like easily accessible to bring and just be like, all right, guys, here you go. Let's get fucking weird for a couple hours.
To sort of add on to that, because that speaks a lot to what I was really going for with writing this. With the tables, I tried to write it so that if you didn't have a GM, you didn't need one. So that like if just someone at the player just rolls, okay, what does the monster do next? And then so that you have the option of just letting the game sort of run itself while you're all playing with it. I think it's better with someone running the setting and the monster, but you have that freedom. And the second thing with regard to playing it at a pub, which is such a good idea, there is in the Monster Guts game something we didn't get a chance to look at, which is the use of cards as a grid. So each card, looks at the back of a regular playing card, is one of those range bands. And we're talking about like close and near and far. And so you just move, I don't know, bottle caps or something for each of you on the cards based so that you can pretty easily figure out where everybody is and also where the monster is.
Which
I loved that mechanic. I
also love that you said bottle caps, because bottle caps are what my PCs use at my actual table when we play, because that's what we've got. We've got plenty of them.
Yeah, bottle caps, corks, they're great.
Yep.
That's so good. No, and I actually hadn't considered too the additional table mechanic of those cards adds just a tiny bit more complexity, because then you can arbitrate around the monsters and the spaces.
Mhm.
Like it's just enough to make it just a little bit more interesting, but not enough to make it overly complex like some like D&D grids are. So
right, you're not
that's super
talking
cool.
feet, you're talking zones, like in
Mhm.
general. And I can't tell you how much I appreciated that. Like, just are you far, are you near, or you're close? This is what it means you can do. It's not like, well, I have to move 5 feet to get like I think systems can often get down to these like gritty details, which can be really satisfying, but it can often get in the way of, again, like the cinematic, like badass feeling of like, I'm gonna fucking topple this monster. Like, and this had just enough framework to get you where you needed to go so you could do the damn thing.
Yeah, it's real good. I'll because this is kind of a shorter session for us. I guess I'll pass it over to Danielle. First question to you: what did you? I mean, have you played the game as a player before, or have you only run it up to this point?
I've only run it up to this point. This was my first time, like, actually getting to use these rules as a player, and I had so much fun. Oh my goodness!
Spectacular.
Yeah.
Yehudith is amazing. I love her.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She's incredible.
She's
like.
wonderful.
This is my first time ever being on a stream, actually, and so I've just had a
Yay.
wonderful time with y'all.
Oh, this is so good. This makes me so happy. No, that's literally one of the whole points of the show. Is I feel like a lot of game designers don't get to play their own games. They just teach other people how to play. So I do not let other people run their own games. So with that in mind, then, from the player perspective, did it change anything about the way that you saw the game, or make you kind of consider anything differently that you hadn't maybe seen before, since you'd only been running? No is a perfectly acceptable answer, but I'm just curious.
It's a good question. I think the big thing that I was sort of thinking about is, okay, so I have this lovely 2-page spread that's got all of my relevant information, but now I need to like change my health and I need to change my edge, and there's not a good way for me to do that in the document as it's presented. And so thinking about, okay, how can I make this easier to play? You know, either from like a layout perspective, or maybe doing something different with the instructions, just to make it a little bit simpler, so I don't have to open up a little OneNote page to keep track of all of the stuff while I'm playing the game. Like yeah.
I am a fan of, when it comes to Lumen games in general, and I've started doing this with all of them. But if you play the game at home, it might be helpful. I do counting up. So I start with 0, and then I'll have like piles of extra dice or tokens, or even just like pennies or something, and I'll just stack pennies every time I take a harm or I subtract an edge or something, and I'll just count them up, and then once I get a blister, I'll just wipe them and then drop one down for a blister. Far easier in game, and then afterwards I'll just tally what ended up at the end of the session. That's
super clever.
A lot of Lumen games kind of have that same vibe, because you go through like your ability points and your health points so fast. And I've played a number of them, so that's been my notice on it so far.
I just want to plug in here too, because I think there's a couple of mechanics. Like anytime the blister mechanic comes up, I'm like, this is so cool. But like, I mean, how like rewarding the system is when you scavenge. Here's a bunch of cool shit that you can find that is legitimately helpful to you. Your companion, like, that is such a cool mechanic to have a little helper. Like, we're here as a team squad, but then you have your own individual little helper. So cool. And like the creative opportunities with that are just like endless. Like all the different clocks and the way that they like the once that venom hit and we were just fucked, like that changed the approach like completely. It was just like, before we were like, we're just going to throw in and we're just going to go hard. And then it was like, oh no, every time we get hit, we're fucked. Like
it's real
a cool
ouch.
way. Real ouch.
Super
and
ouch.
Systems, I think, can struggle in that space to have real consequences to like combat. Like, we lost Corn Dog for a second. But
I'm so sorry. I hit the wrong button. I meant to mute.
you're fine. We can move them around. It's fine.
Oops.
But it's like it's having real consequences in such a like that's what I love about this. It's gritty, it's difficult, it's grueling, but the mechanics don't make you like suffer for it. Like I'm not having to roll like a stress die or like how much do I bleed out? It's just like here's your tag, this is what it means, go. And so you can just keep, to Corndog's point, you can play it in a pub and just do the thing, which is just so wonderful.
Fixed. I did the thing. Y'all are back where you should be.
I really liked being Ash for a moment.
I'm sorry. Did you want me to put you back?
Nah, it's all right.
Okay.
I mean, the name of
I wouldn't
Corndog
wish
is pretty
me
sweet.
upon Ash, so.
Are you kidding me? You're amazing.
No, in general, I think I very much particularly appreciate just the notes from Sarah too. I feel like every time I have you on the show, I get like I've played a lot of games. I feel like I've got some decent insight, but yours always comes from like this left field space of like it's always the skirt around of the stuff that I miss, and I very much appreciate that.
I mean, I think for me, I sign up for TTRPGs because I want to like play a character. Like I'm give me that rule light system. Like, I mean, I think the first top shelf I did was Iron and Lies, and that game's literally like just fucking tell lies. Like that's how the game works. And like I think if there's a game that enables me to like play make believe with friends that doesn't get in the way but gives us a common language to have that experience, like that's the magic of TTRPGs, and that's different for everybody. But this in particular, because it's a franchise that I love, and maybe I'd love to hear Ash's thoughts on this as well, but because it's a franchise it's adjacent to a franchise that I already love, it's easier to kind of dive in and get that feel and do that good like narrative play. And again, like long term, this could be nuts. Like as you get tags, as you get overpowered, as you get blisters, as you lose fights, like just how much that escalates the narrative or like your ability to combat new monsters as they come at you. Like it's going to be totally different. Like my hunter, my scavenger going into the next fight is going to be different. There's a chance I can't use the bow now. Like if my character's like motivations is I hunt with a bow and I can't use a bow anymore, what does that mean long term? It introduces a problem that I, the player, could not account for, and I think that's brilliant.
Yeah. Make that a little bit more difficult because I'm just thinking about playing this at my own table, and any tags that you have on that weapon when you can no longer use it don't transfer. They go too.
Yep.
Yeah. You're a newbie. You're literally a newbie
man,
again.
all those level ups.
Yep.
Gone.
And maybe you have to fight some really powerful monster that can make a salve that gets rid of your blisters.
Oh.
Right.
They don't show up very often, and it's a really nasty fight, and maybe you don't get out anything else. So it's
right.
Yeah.
But if that's the only way to save your village, like that's my thing, is it introduces this introducing conflict into TTRPGs can be really, really challenging, particularly when you have magic like Cure Wounds, where it's like, oh, I'm fine. Like, I just got hit for half my hit points, but somebody cast a 5th level spell, so I'm fine. Like, it's really hard to balance consequences with that. This system is light enough and yet brutal enough that you get that. Yep. You get that real, like, oof kind of feeling that makes you cautious.
Yeah, that's true. That's a neat point. I had a thought too. Oh, just role playing with the pals. Like out of combat, the use of all of the pets is so fun to be able to try to explore too. Is like, what do we do with these? And it gives the GM a really neat opportunity to guide a player without feeling like you're being a terrible self-insert person. Because they already have somebody there who's looking out for them, which is the perfect way to insert tips or hints, or that's so good. That's so good as a GM, because that's really hard to do sometimes, to not feel overbearing.
Yeah, 100%. as a GM, and all of a sudden an NPC comes striding out of the woods to give you the information that you need. Like, it can be jarring. But if your caterpillar is just like starts like making a little cocoon in a particular tree, it's already like embedded in the existing narrative and motivation.
Does that mean there are the existence of butterfly friends?
You know, that's a really good question. So one thing I did have to cut because it didn't fit in the layout, of course, is the hooter pal.
I love owls so much.
I feel really bad that I didn't. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh no.
Wonderful.
Is so yeah, having a little owl friend that like you can't ride on it, but helps you out in other ways because you know it can fly and it's a big friendly owl. So maybe there are hooter pals and there are also butterfree pals. Butter pals.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Butter friends. There we go.
Butter friends.
You got catter pals and butter
go.
friends.
There we go.
There you go.
That's it. I'm
I
writing
like
it
this a
down
lot.
right now.
Do it. Take it. It's all yours.
Yeah.
No, it's so good. For the sake of not drawing myself into circles, which I do eventually do, having conversations about games that I really like. If there are any final thoughts, let's grab those real quick from anybody, and then we'll start doing outros, and we can get this wrapped up here. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Going once, going twice.
Go Ash, go Ash. I can see Ash saying a thing.
Get after it,
Danielle,
Ash.
you go first.
Does the chat have any questions?
Ooh,
That's a great
very
question.
good.
That is a good question.
Or I would be curious too, like we've talked a lot about like the pros of the system. Were there any places that we felt awkward as players trying to play through this game? Like any hiccups that we experienced trying to like interact?
I think for me it was just like the scrolling I had to do on occasion to like find my pal. I was just like, shit, where is he? Where is he? I was just like, brr, 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 brr. So I'm sorry to anyone who heard my scroll wheel at all tonight because I was just like aggressively trying to find Caterpal. And then I realized control find.
No,
Control F.
same note, but all that means is it's not a bad game. It's just got to get bigger so you can make me a physical copy so I can put it on my top shelf because I do very much prefer having a physical copy because it's easier to rifle through in the heat of the moment. So I get that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, shucks, I'll have to make it bigger then. Fine. You twist.
Fine. More monsters, please.
More pals. More pals.
All right.
So many more pals.
We'll throw money at
Yeah,
this.
can I add pals
wholeheartedly.
to the guts? The guts thing that's coming up, the guts jam. I just want to add pals.
Do.
I just want friends.
Yeah, put whatever you want in there.
That's all. I just want the fluff. I'm here for the fluff articles and the fluff animes and the fluff whatever.
So, Purple's asking if you have all of the weapons. Like, you could be really obnoxious and not have all of the weapons, but like my thought is, everyone can take can access the basic weapons. The tags that are the hard fought.
But that's a cool idea though too. If you were going for like a hardcore kind of grueling experience, you could say, yeah, your blacksmith only knows how to make these kinds of weapons. You need to improve your village to be able to unlock the next tier or option of weapons. Like you could be really, really flexible with what that looks like because of the way it's presented. Like in other TTRPGs, like these classes aren't allowed, like these weapons aren't allowed until you've completed 5 hunts or 3 hunts or however many.
Yeah.
That could be really cool.
And if Purple's question was also what are all of the weapons, you have the War Bugle, the Vespine Spear, the Modular Scythe, the Maul, the Long Sword, the Knives, the Halberd, the Great Sword, the Glaive, the Fire Lance, the Bow Gun, and the Bow, which is a hell of a grouping.
There's
I
too
wanted
many
to.
cool ones.
I know there's so many weapons, and that's actually I think we've already kind of touched on this, but that as like a key driver to bring people into the game. Not only people that have played Monster Hunter and understand the versatility of all these different weapons, kind of changing how you experience the game. But even just for like new players who have never played Monster Hunter before, it's like, hey, do you like ttrpgs and you don't like being bogged down to a single class kind of thing? Like, hey, go pick up a bow gun and see how you like that. Not your thing? Play with the knives. Like, being able to have that interchangeability, not only as just an option to play with, but also making that part of oh god, words are hard. Like a punishment, not so much a punishment, but like with the blister system of
the consequences, right?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. That's fantastic. Like, hey, you've been playing a warlock in this one campaign for a really long time. Are you super tired of only having like the one spell slot and want to do other cool things? Come check this out. You can have a 6 scythe or a really cool fire lance. Like, just do whatever you want with either of these interchangeably at will or as part of a consequence. It's also just as a super Monster Hunter fan, really fun to like actually be able to create a character, because you can sit in character creation in a video game for a while, but how often do you get to like interact as your character? Like, they don't talk in the game. You get to like make them look cool. That's about it. But in here, you get to, like any other TTRPG, like inject some of your own personality, or be that character, which is just the coolest fucking thing. I've always wanted to do that, and here I am wielding a giant scythe, and I feel very badass. So thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, you're so welcome.
We have gathered a bunch of nerds just to pay homage to you. Apparently, it's been great. No, but no, it really, like, it's a good time. I can't tell you how much I enjoy every Lumen game that has been released so far. There's something about the way that the base of that system works that lets people's brains build the thing that they love a lot. And that game, because of it's giving that opportunity to build something that you love, makes the game just shine. And this is definitely one of those. Let's go ahead and grab outros from everybody, and we'll go around in the same order that we had. We'll go Ashen, Corndog, Sarah, and then Janelle, and then Danielle. Good Lord, what did I just say?
I don't even remember.
I think I said Janelle for some reason. Danielle.
That's pretty good. Just making up names.
It's not a bad name, but I'm not. Yeah, just throwing down whatever I like at this point. I don't know. And then I'll round us out at the very end. And then Danielle, for your information, outros can be whatever you like. Yourself, as well as where we can find you. Plug anything and everything. You know, we want to hear the cool stuff that you do. But Ashen.
Cool. Sure. Yeah, I'll start it off. Hi, I'm Ash. I go by Ash and Rabbit here on Twitch and over on Twitter. You can find me on the internet doing cool things, mostly over on twitch.tv/nat20 on their reoccurring Sunday campaign of Morningstar and Company Incorporated, which was it's a post Curse of Strahd homebrew adventure where I play a Firbolg Life Cleric and everything sucks, but it's also like gotta save all the friends. I also DM a campaign over there called Against the Tides, which Sarah is a player. It's a whole bunch of fun. It's set in the continent of Wildmount in the world of Exandria. So if you're even remotely familiar with Critical Role, there are a lot of fun references that we get to make and kind of get to geek out over. And sometimes I'm over here on TPK Roleplay. I can't even say it. But hey, thank you for having me here. And I'm going to pass it on over to Corndog.
It's me. I didn't know that you had an Exandria campaign.
Hell yeah.
I have a half sleeve for Critical Role that's permanently etched into my body.
Oh my God.
So I need to come watch and hang out with you. That would be fun to watch.
Amazing.
You can find me mainly here on TPK Roleplay. Next week, you will find me here not 1, not 2, but 3 whole days in a row, as I am here Tuesday playing with some friends across the pond who are going to be experiencing their first D&D stream. So super excited about that. I'm going to be playing a fairy barbarian who's definitely way too small for her battle axe. I'm super excited about it. It's going to be dope. I'm so excited. And then I get to have the lovely stress of Wednesday being the last episode of our Curse of Strahd campaign. So I'm probably going to die. But
Dude,
it's
you
fine.
okay? You okay? You gonna make it? That's
okay.
a lot.
Believe.
But then on Thursday, I'm here again in my happy family stream where we are entering Waterdeep in a Tyranny of Dragons adjacent campaign. We'll see. I don't know. We keep calling Tiamat Tiamat, and we've given her a bunch of wigs. So that's fun. Because fuck real games. Make it weird. Make it weird. This is all just ttrpg dating sims, unless you're in Barovia, and then it's like, just try to fucking survive.
It's still a dating
TTRPG sim.
Yeah.
Just sad.
Yeah.
Just real bad.
With
Just
feelings.
Real bad.
Just but then you'll find me the week after that for Harper's and here. And then I scream at people on Twitter at Corndog McGraw. And by scream at people, I mean I yell at politicians and ask where their spines went, and then I complain about how tired I am.
I mean,
That's
Twitter.
That's
Yeah.
Twitter.
Awesome. I think that's me. Hi, I'm Osara X Franco. If you like my face and the words I say sometimes, you can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Osara X Franco. I'm involved in a bunch of TTRPG stuff. I feel very fortunate, both here on TBK Roleplay. You can find me in shows like The Harpers, which is a D&D 5e campaign every other Tuesday. Dark Echoes, which is a separate Curse of Strahd campaign where I play Irina Kolyana, the NPC, which has been really rewarding. You can also find me tomorrow night, or not tomorrow, today's Saturday. So Monday in Winter Holds Finest, where I play a Tabaxi rogue. You saw Pascal as my Palico tonight. Catch me playing Pascal as a Tabaxi rogue, which is a lot of fun. You can also find me over at Nat 20 in shows like Against the Tides, where I play a gnome druid named Kelby, who just has a mouth and a lot of swears in her back pocket. And also every Sunday, you can find me in Morningstar and Company as Cascade. I always goof this up. Order of the Scribes wizard Water Genasi, who is sarcastic and just done with everyone's shit. The whole world could end and she'd be like, finally. But it's a lot of fun. I want to thank JK for inviting me to participate tonight. I want to thank Danielle for making such a cool system for a thing that I really like. So now I can like hunt monsters with my friends, no matter where I am. I think it's wonderful. And Corndog and Ash, you're always the best. I love playing with you. Okay, bye.
Well, I think that's me.
You are up.
Yeah. Great. Hi, I am Danielle Osterman. She's a. I wrote Monster Guts. You can find me on Twitter at Ostermad, Ostermad. You can also find me on Itch.io, and that's where you can buy a copy of Monster Guts and spend money on queer trans people. It's at Dub Pub, Wheels Within Wheels Publishing, because I'm a terrible Jew. Yeah, that's me. I've had such a blast playing with Monster Guts with all of you. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. You are very, very welcome. I always like meeting new designers because then anytime they come out with new stuff, I get to play new stuff on here and bring them back. So you're on the list now. Be warned. But my name is Mads. I've been your host for tonight. You can find me every other Saturday here for a new episode of The Top Shelf, where we showcase a different TTRPG every week, unless I'm feeling saucy and do another mini-series at some point. But we like getting the authors on, we like chatting with them, and we want to showcase cool shit. So if you have author friends or, hit me up on Twitter at jkmadigan. Spread the word. We want to make sure everybody sees as many TTRPGs as possible. And go buy Monster Guts. It's good. It's lots of fun, and it's itch funding right now, which means the more money it gets, the cooler it becomes. So go do that. And there's
We're
the monster...
currently
Oh no!
We're currently fundraising for a supplement issue called Behemoth, which is about monsters that are mountain-sized. Think like Zora Magdaros.
Oh, that's all you need to say.
Yeah. Giant island turtles, glaciers that are also monsters. That's what we're fundraising for, and I'm working with some really cool people, so please give me money so I can make cool things to give to you.
Yes, go buy it. Speaking of which, apart from the top shelf, I have also started releasing my own stuff. We have most recently A Sailor's Grave. Well, actually, not most recently. My second game, A Sailor's Grave, just finished itch funding, but it is still super good despite me having to go in and make some revisions now that I've made some money on it. Get some new art in it, but it's if you like pirates, go check that out. We also have Raven's Crest just updated because we're coming into the spooky season, so it has been reformatted. So it is now a full front and back pamphlet, so you can print it off and make it friendly for your friends to have it at your table.
This pleased me immensely. Very good.
Yes, Sarah was part of one of my favorite series that I've ever run, ever. It's so good. Raven's Crest.
It's a good system, gang. Go out and get it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so it's made a little bit more readable and easier to print, and it has more content in it. So go check that out. And then the most recent one I just released for Keegan EXE's game jam for the summer is Robbing the 310 to Icaros, which is a space train western heist. Everybody loves train robberies. Do it in space. It's real weird. It's somewhere between a cross between like Liar's Dice and a tabletop game. There's like legit kind of gambling concept behind it, and it'll be lots of fun. itch.io/jkmadigan. Other than that, you can find me in the Discord, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks again, Danielle. Thanks again, everybody, so much. I always love having everybody on. Y'all are the sweetest, and we will talk to you next time.